Where were we last time? What were we doing? I've forgotten.
We
I don't remember.
got a new job. We
You
found
are
out.
in the capital city of Hyluri, sorry. What have you found out? Yeah, run us through it, Gex.
Oh boy. I was looking at my notes like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember. We went to the palace, worried about our escape from the Artificers Guild, but it turns out they didn't give a fuck about that. Gav chatted shit about Claxton, which was pretty funny.
I gave them a map.
We were taken, yes. We were taken to.
Remember, we have to go back the next day, right? And I asked them for magic shit, I think.
We volunteered for the job to receive the King's Ward and investigate the Becklands, where the comet seemed to have landed. We sat with Genevieve and we swore an oath to the priest. Well, some of us did, Father Visca. We convinced them that Sam was loyal to us as opposed to their country, so he did not have to swear the oath. They are aware that this emergence may come. Something to do with the Black Prince. Come back tomorrow, basically. We went back to the inn. A young lad sprinted away, and then a fat man. Turns out a fat man with a mustache sent him, and his name was Percy. I believe Gav divined that through mental fuckery.
That's right. Gav's detect thoughts learned that last detail.
Okay, that's what I've got based on my notes.
Mental fuckery. Yeah.
So we are the King's Men with Ralph Fiennes.
Hurrah.
Yep.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Wandering sheriffs.
And we're to go back again, isn't it? Like, so day 2, we met them.
Yep.
And we got sworn in, but they want us back for a third day, is it?
There's a lot of that come back tomorrow shit in this kingly court. It's a bit inefficient.
Yeah.
Well, that's kings for you.
Almost as if
Bastards.
this were satire.
I don't remember if I asked if they knew someone who could enchant weapons or asked to have some magic shit provided. I can't remember what we asked for.
Oh yeah, we asked if we could have some gear, right? To help us on our tours.
Gav wanted a spell or something. Right?
Yeah, I don't particularly know which one. There's banishment, which I can't cast yet, but we'll be able to next level. Or we need to talk to somebody who maybe is a bit more au fait with this type of stuff.
You were asking for means to fight and defeat undead as well, because none of you have any.
We need a cleric.
Of dealing with that sort of thing.
Well, past the norm, yeah.
Best I can do is summon a fucking swarm of flies to eat them.
Yeah, that'll work.
You've got Moonbeam, haven't you, Vic?
Yeah.
Moonbeam's
Yeah,
good.
That's holy life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Radiant damage is what we're talking about in that situation. But
I summon plague of maggots. Eat maggots, eat. Because that's how you really beat zombies.
Yeah, pretty slowly.
Yeah.
Oh no, enough maggots.
Moonbeam will be better. Double damage.
Fucking waste them. Yeah. Right. Sorry, I'm just shoveling some rice down my hole.
That's absolutely fine if I know we're going to be fighting undead and I have a day to prepare the fucking thing first.
Prepare my knuckles. Oh my god.
They're already there.
Titus has 35 health. Obadiah has 38. I have 39. That's pretty cute. I mean, Taurus got 57 because he's a fucking unit.
I mean, I do have Constitution +2, so that's the only reason.
On Tuesday, I hasted our Total Barbarian in a fight, and so I hasted him, and he used Frenzy attack, and he attacked 8 times and hit once. So I was like, very, very cool. Excellent use of a third level spell.
I mean, it might have hit none times otherwise.
It was impressive, but yeah. It's very funny.
Frenzy is savage. Like when it works, it really, really works. But that level of exhaustion is just a killer.
Yeah, it's a peep.
You know.
We could have just all rolled critical fail. There is
Yeah, if I was saying to the fellas, I will pitch us into it just quick in a moment, but I basically I can run this campaign for some time. In terms of plans and things like that, in terms of scaling of challenges and stuff like that, I can take it up. I mean, we'll see how it goes. D&D after, in my experience, like the high level stuff is difficult to balance and keep a persistent challenge without just getting either taking a lot of work on the DM's behalf or just getting a bit boring. But I'm happy to keep running things for some time. I got briefly excited about playing Cyberpunk again today, and so I'm now thinking about, right, okay, at what point I've got some events in mind that when they come, maybe we'll take a bit of a break, but I'll make sure I give am I right in saying you had something in mind that you wanted to run after this anyway?
Yeah, well, there's two things really. I want to try the RuneQuest system out at some point because it's excellent, and I want to finish the other D&D thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll make sure I give a fair bit of notice when things are rolling towards it.
Cool.
Maybe I'll tell you kind of privately, and you can.
Yeah, I won't need much notice because if I'm doing RuneQuest, it'll be an adventure out of a book, and I have a fair idea what I'm doing for the next thing in the other D&D thing.
Yeah, great. Okay. Well, in which case, yeah, I'll it's going to be a little while yet, but
yeah, and if you want to take a break, like we've got something to jump into straight away, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the only other thing in terms of housekeeping, I'm trying to think about days that I may not be available, but to be honest, yeah, let's not worry about that for the minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I've not got any firm days coming up that I'm not going to be available to play. So
Thursday, the 8th of next month, I won't be around.
8th of June, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, no
You
worries.
lot can carry on without me, it probably won't involve me too much, so.
Well, yeah, I don't like to, and but yeah, even if it's one of those things of, if I've got a bit of notice, we can plan something else. Christ, we can play something else. And it doesn't hurt anybody too much. But
I'll be at fucking festival.
oh yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, be a bit hard to fuck it in as much as I'd like to.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, one of the guys in my Sunday group is in he's in a couple of bands, but every so often he will join the video call and he's just in a green room of a venue with a bag of dice and some paper, like he just has to look over at somebody every so often and say, oh no, I'm just playing D&D, it's good. Yeah, we just played our set earlier, so it's fine. Great fun. Right. The group have returned. It is early evening to the Swan, the moderate quality hotel where you have found lodgings. On your return, you have spotted a young pauper lad whom Obadiah has divined as having recognized you and run to tell an underworld figure by the name of Percy in the city. You have, however, gone back into the inn and have the evening to prepare and make more plans for, should you wish to spend it. The next day,
I have anything to do, yeah.
You have obligations tomorrow, so leaving the city is not a great idea. But otherwise, things are for you if you wish to go out and cause trouble.
I want to find out who this Percy guy is.
Would you want to try track him down? Probably won't be too hard.
Yeah.
Well, it might look good with the king or whatever if we take care of any, petty feuds in his town, city, whatever this fucking thing is.
It strikes me a bit odd that he wants to know what we're doing here, considering we didn't even know we were coming here a few days ago.
Well, I was going to say
Oh,
we did fuck up those bandits, but the news probably didn't
Did
get
stop
in
the
before we
kid
did.
thief as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it was his doing.
Maybe he thinks that we're some big spenders or something.
The hotel, does it have like? I know we're calling it a hotel, but does it have like tables and chairs outside? Or
Let's say it has a little veranda, street level stuff where people might take lunch or something.
yeah, well, why don't we sit out here for the evening, and if we see anyone come back, at least we'll be aware of them.
Sounds all right.
I don't really want to chase the guy down, but I wouldn't mind to be prepared for if he finds us.
Well, we could ask around. We know his name, right?
Yeah,
That'll get
Probably
his
wouldn't.
attention.
True.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so we find a spot.
Surely there's a guard round that might have some information on him.
I reckon
Where
yeah, authorities. Just ask the innkeep,
we can get what information we want out of any official people with to show them our writs.
Yeah, but we might could have bribed them. I don't know. Whatever you think.
Well, I'm not arse tripping around the town in the dark. Yeah, we'll.
That's what I'm saying. Ask the bar staff. They might know.
Yeah, they might. Well, whoever brings us our food or drink next, I'm going to ask, Jed.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
By any chance, do you know somebody by the name of Percy? I believe he's looking for me.
I'm going to roll a die and see whether she knows or not.
Give her a history check.
You catch a look.
Big mustachioed fella.
The drink spills a little bit in her hand, and she tidies it up. She grabs a mop, a rag from her apron, and mops the drink.
Oh, don't worry about that, dear. It's we know the sort of character he is.
He doesn't come around here. That's none of our business.
That's why we're staying here. Do you know where we'd find him? I assume some of the more run-down establishments.
Oh, well, you'd have to go to the East End.
That makes sense. Well, then I think we'll stay here for the night.
All right.
Okay, are you... Sirs, we don't want any kind of... Your own business is your own business, but...
No, we don't know the man. He's looking for us.
He's looking for you.
Well, all of us. I don't know why.
Well, generally speaking, if you'll forgive me for saying so, my impression is he's the kind of man who finds things that you're looking for. I've heard of him, certainly.
Well, thank you for your help, dear. And tip her a couple of copper.
Will there be anything else, sir?
No, nothing. Thanks. Right, do we want to go cause trouble, or do we want to just get our job done properly?
Huh?
I'm happy to stay here then. Screw this Percy chap.
He can find
I'm
us.
always down for mischief, but it's not important.
Well,
start
Yeah.
drinking and gambling.
And you fellas are sitting outside in the street?
Well,
Yeah,
at
it's
a
summertime,
table.
isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
at a
little.
table.
Yeah,
We'll
you're not
play
not
some
on the
dice or
street. Yeah,
something.
there's a little. There are a little outside table, and it's been a summer's day, so people have been sat. There are people who are, you would imagine, staying there from the way they come in, and other people approach and sit to eat. You know, this place has a not bad restaurant, as hotels often do. The wind picks up in the evening, and those of you who spent enough time outdoors realise this is signalling a change in the weather.
Mm.
As the sky darkens into evening, it starts to wisp, it starts to haze. You are not going to have that kind of purple black bruise sky of the evening that you've had for a few nights. Clouds are coming in.
Ugh. Weather looks a bit shit.
Regardless, there are people around. The street you're on is relatively busy. There are businesses, but as the businesses have closed, some people have gone home. There are a group of youngsters playing with a ball a few buildings over in an alleyway. They're bouncing the ball off the wall, taking it in turns. But I think all of you have decent enough insight to realize that they are not keeping count of anything. They're not keeping track of anything. Every time one of you gets up to go for a piss or to order more drinks, that's when they count. That's when they talk to each other.
Little bastards. We'll show them what for.
That's your specialty.
There are 3 young boys. They might be 8 or 10. You know.
Perfect age for throwing off roofs.
Throw two at once.
Yeah.
An aerodynamic age.
Yeah.
Let's have a look round. Is there anybody else, Jed, in eyesight, kind of watching?
I'll give you a choice of insight or perception.
It doesn't make a difference. 20 of either.
No, none that you pick up.
Okay.
No one persisting in the area. At least there are moments when the lads look at other people with recognition, but it's hard to tell. Then nobody else sticks around.
They're not communicating with anybody else other than their own. They're nodding at people they know, maybe.
Maybe it might just be an innocent little nod at somebody that they know. Yeah.
Right, well, we just deal with this.
What, the boys?
What are you thinking?
Now we go up to the boys and ask them why Percy wants to speak with us.
Yep. I'll stroll over.
Or ask him to send a message.
No, I'll stroll over. What are you little bastards doing?
As you stand and you walk across it, there's a moment where whichever one of them is not playing with the ball, clicks his fingers, and the other 2 stand, and they cluster close together. They draw back a little bit into the alleyway, but their eyes are locked on you. They aren't used to this. They didn't realize that they'd be spotted.
You've been watching me and my friends.
Give me an intimidation roll, please, Gex.
Nosy little bastards like you want to watch yourselves, you might lose your nose. Or not. 9.
Yeah. Look, mister, this is our fucking street, alright? We're just playing fucking bounces. We don't know you.
How many bounces you done?
What do you mean?
How many? You're playing,
He's done
you keeping count.
He's done 26, and I did just 8, and then I fucked it up.
Oh,
But what?
stupid,
Hang on
wasn't it?
a fucking minute. What you talking about? You don't fucking live here. Don't you know how to play bouncers?
I only bounce the skulls of my enemies.
Why are you talking to us then? You fucking. What's wrong with you? You're a guy kind of guy comes into this town and talks to little kids.
No, I'm the kind of guy who's been bothered by kids. What are you doing watching us?
Fuck off. We weren't bothering you. We weren't bothering you.
I don't know what to do here. Listen,
These are kids that are used to getting away with shit. These are kids that you must have met kids like this. That
Yeah.
just being mouthy is a way of getting through things.
Can I grapple the leader? Who's talking? Like grab him by his cuff.
So I'm going to grab the mouthy one and pick
You're
him
going to
up.
grab the mouthy
Pick
one.
him up 6
yeah.
feet off the ground.
Give me right. Okay, what I'll do. You're considerably bigger than this kid, so I'm going to roll. You can roll an athletics check. I'm going to give him an acrobatics check, but I'm going to roll it at disadvantage because he is small.
He's small, but he moves fast.
Well, yeah. That's...
acrobatics. I have +7, 17.
17 definitely beats my 10, so that's fine. The disadvantage. So yeah, you can grab this kid by the collar and just lift him. The other two just fucking leg it.
Listen,
and this kid is trying to kick you, but isn't strong enough to actually.
I'm just
like,
hold him far enough away that he can't reach me.
This is exactly it.
You little bastard. Get out of my face and tell whoever sent you that, I don't know, if he wants to know about us, he can come talk to us himself.
You fuck off, you fucking green-skinned fucking perv, you fucking creep. You fuck off. I ain't telling nobody a fucking thing. I'm gonna tell my fucking dad you fucking touched me by the neck.
I'll cuff him lightly around the ear and said, "Cool it with the racism, you little bastard." I'll throw him in the direction of his friends. A short distance, just throw him a little bit. I'm not like yeeting him like. No, I'm not yeeting him like a football. I'm just sort of chucking him to the ground.
Roll me a d4. If it's a 4, he'll take some hit points. If it's not,
come on, kill him.
Okay, so yeah, the kid's not severely hurt. He's able to land.
Piss off.
Jeffrey.
I was very tempted to stroll over and said, "Hey, kid, last time someone pissed him off, they threw him off the fucking roof. He's about your size as well."
That kid was definitely bigger than these ones. That guy was like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
These ones
Whoa,
are
he was
definitely
16 before.
Was he 16?
This
Yeah,
is
okay.
getting worse and worse.
Yeah, mid-teens.
What about he was fucking 5.
You know, that guy was a teenager and definitely old enough to be like peripheral to a bandit gang. These are actual children.
Yeah. Street
Don't fucking
urchins.
stop him being a little shit.
Yeah.
Urchins.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Has he fucked off yet?
Yes.
Tell
Okay.
Percy we'll be waiting for him. Oh, says he's running.
Oh, you're dropping the name. Okay, fine. Oh,
Yeah, fuck it.
sit back down and fucking have a drink and roll some dice.
Better
We should
than
have
what I
really
was planning
freaked
to
him
do.
out and have Gav speak to him in his mind.
I mean, we don't
I'm
have,
still sitting back at the table. I thought
we don't
Yeah,
want to
Jeff
traumatize
went
him
over
for
by
life.
himself.
He
Like,
did.
yeah.
We don't
He
want to
did, I was
traumatize him
just-
for life. We just want to fucking scare him straight, you know?
If you have Gav look over and talk to him in his mind, he's gonna fucking shit himself.
Pretty sure Obadiah is
permanently.
spooky enough already. Fucking hell. Look at
It's
him.
better than what I was planning on doing. I was going to shoot the musket next to his ear.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
The child-
permanent deafness.
The child makes a con save. He fails.
Mwah. Mwah.
His ear is bleeding.
My choices
Yeah.
were erupt there.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
you gonna go back and sit at the outside tables, or are you gonna go indoors?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go sit outside.
Yeah.
Everybody
The
know
wind
how
is
to play
picking up.
Dragon
The weather
Chess?
is getting worse. But yeah.
well, lads.
I'm no good at chess, but I'm good at dice because it doesn't require skill or tactics. And I have a dice set.
what about you, Black?
What you should do now is you both go on chess.com and play each other.
The whole fucking session of us playing chess.
We actually did that in my friend's D&D. He just had an NPC that was playing chess, and someone challenged him, and they actually just played a game of chess.
I'll bet you a gold. I can beat you at chess.
The way we play chess in D&D, if you are proficient in a chess set, you can add your proficiency bonus. Otherwise, it is an intelligence roll.
Yeah, I ain't playing.
Back in a sec.
Yeah, let's play some chess. Oh, he beats me.
22.
Have a gold.
No,
Okay.
you keep it.
Anyway,
I have a firm sense of this because I had a battle master some time ago who was proficient in chess, and made some good friends and some good enemies from it. Okay. The evening draws on and it's getting dark when rain starts to patter in the dust around you. And it has that warm summer rain smell as the street, which has been parched dry for days.
Are we covered?
No, there's no covering outside this one.
Alright, sod this for a game of soldiers. Let's go inside.
Yeah, let's turn in for the night then.
Back.
Or that's what I'm going to do anyway. I have reading to catch up on.
Right.
It's relatively late now. It's getting on for 10ish. You've been sat outside for some hours.
Yeah, I'm
So-
going to turn in then, Jed.
Yeah. Going up to bed?
yeah, why not?
Fine.
Yes.
As you all walk back into the hotel lobby, you put a foot upon the stair, and the door opens behind you. And 3 men walk in. There is a rough-looking man. He has tattoos up his forearms. The rain has been soaking into his cloth shirt, and you can realise that he might have been outside for a little while since it starts. Behind him, draped in a wool cloak, which is keeping the rain off quite well, is a much heavier set man with a thin moustache. And then there is another very rough-looking man with a black eye and lank, greasy hair behind him. The man with the black eye pushes past the fat man and approaches you, Jethro. Says, "Where do you think you're getting off hitting my son?"
He was a rude.
Was you, wasn't it?
He was a rude little bastard. Should teach him some manners.
This guy glowers, but he is standing restrained. He's posturing more than anything else. Your insight is high enough to work out that this guy isn't here to hit you. He just, yeah.
I will
What's
cease slouching and stand up straight.
this all about, gentlemen?
Ah,
Mr.
Sirs.
Percy, I presume.
you presume correctly. The fat man in the middle of the group arriving says, and strides forward. There is a receptionist at the hotel desk, or there was a moment ago. She has vanished, hidden perhaps. Although you have me at a disadvantage, sir. You know my name. You know, apparently, my modus operandi within the city. Well enough to shout at my associates' children in the street.
Well, sir, having children do your dirty work is should be anyway, a little beneath you. But maybe we can resolve this like gentlemen. The name
Well,
is
indeed.
Black. Obadiah Black.
Mr. Black. Pleasure to make your acquaintance in person.
I'm Jeffro Chadwick, and I'm all for resolving this unlike gentleman.
Jethro, yes.
Did you say we were going upstairs, Jed, when they walked in?
You were at the bottom of the stairs, yeah. They, you
Don't
might
shoot them
surmise, have
yet.
waited until you were indoors.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to take a few steps up and, scratch my arm a bit.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing there.
And say nothing.
Very well, sirs. Do you have a... Well, let us step through into the restaurant. I believe we'll find it unoccupied.
What?
I believe we will. Yeah, walk into the restaurant.
Yep.
I'm not scared of these guys. I got myself a Jethro.
Yeah.
We have a Hulk.
We got a donk.
I'm going to make sure that they go in before I do, all of them.
They go in the order that they've entered the room, although the guy with the tattoos walks into the restaurant first, has a look around, finds a table square in the middle, away from the windows, away from the bar, and starts pulling out seats.
All right, I'll take a seat at one end of the table.
Percy follows you
Oh,
and sits next to where you've sat, Obadiah.
All right.
I'll pull out a chair from another table and sit behind Gav, just sort of in the background.
You have to Riker it and sit backwards on the chair.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Just lean over the top.
It's got to be a
that's
Jethro
good.
move.
Yeah, absolutely. I step over. The
Big
chair.
dick energy.
Yeah. Big dick energy
I'm gonna
covering my
just,
dick.
Just hang around the door, maybe lean on the door frame, listening.
Yeah. You'll notice as well, Sam, that the other two rough men have also not sat. They're not stood right next to the table, but they are lurking.
On my way over to the door, can I spy an eye out the window and see if there's any more people?
Give me a perception check.
Oh god, lag. Ooh. There we go.
Yeah, right side just went to 999 ping.
That'll do, Jeff.
Gav, I've still
26.
got you at very high ping. No one. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
You're at high
Well,
You
pitch.
spied
back
for
to
a
normal.
second.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. 26 for you, Sam.
Uh-huh.
You can't see anyone. There are lights. The buildings across the way have their windows. There are lights on in the room that you're in, and you're aware that the buildings across the way don't have their lights on. So if you were going to position yourself to see in here, that's probably where you would be, and that may well be where these guys were. You are certain that they, from the amount of moisture, for example, on Percy's cloak, he hasn't been out in the rain long. He hasn't been outdoors long. You were out in the rain about as long as he was before going indoors. So they've been
Waiting.
nearby, and they've been able to wait indoors.
Could be more of them over there.
There could be more people nearby, but you can't see them. There might not be equally. You don't have any information to conclude that, even with a 26 perception. But what you can be sure of is there's nobody in the street, for example.
Yes, and that they came from that building.
Yeah, that would be a reasonable assumption. Is yeah.
Okay.
Or a building nearby, at least.
I'll just lean up against the wall.
Right, so gentlemen, let's get down to it. What exactly can we do for you, Mr. Percy?
Well, Mr. Black, I believe you gentlemen are new here in town, are you not?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And so you might not be aware of the running of things, of the order of the streets, shall we say?
Well, we don't get down to the East End all that much.
No. No, I would imagine that you don't. You came in by sea?
Yep.
We did.
Now, I understand, however, that you gentlemen had an encounter with one of my associate's children upon arriving here in town just yesterday, did you not?
Yep.
We did.
And now, gentlemen, you have something of mine in your possession, I believe.
Oh yeah, we did examine.
We do, I think. Some little artificer's doodad, yes.
Indeed.
Completely forgot about that when we were in the artificer's place.
That item happens to be of remarkable sentimental value, you understand. It belonged to my great uncle, and I simply cannot have it lying and floating around. The young lad was merely carrying it for me, and well, it is important that it is returned to me.
Sentimental.
Is he bullshitted?
Sentimental better mean high value.
19 on insight.
19 on the insight. Sentimental value. He's bringing this up because he doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to talk about cash. With a 19 on your insight, and anybody else is welcome to roll as well to see if they get even higher. In fact, actually, I'm going to give him a fucking deception roll.
I'm going to fucking roll insight as well. That's my specialty skill. And acrobatics.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, his deception's not done super well.
Bollocks.
No, I didn't get very good. 8.
Nope.
19 is a great roll for that. It's clear to you, Sam, that he wants this. As to why the boy had it, he's not talking about it in a way that he knows exactly what the thing is. It's not like it was, it's just, well, the boy had some money the boy had some money and was meant to pay it to me. It's this item in particular is sticking with him.
Okay. Before we go on, are we aware that you can read thoughts? Yeah.
You've definitely all been subject to Gav's telepathy. You've been spoken to that way.
Yeah. Okay. Can Gav see me from where he's sitting?
Well, let's say yes.
Okay, I'm just going to put my hand up and touch my head and look at Gav and see if he sees it. And then I'm going to think what I've just believed.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't detect your thoughts, so unless I cast the spell that they will know I've cast.
Oh, sorry.
So
your passive telepathy, you can talk to people, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's one way, I believe.
Is it one way? Let's look it up. Because I honestly can't remember whether it's one way or not.
It's once per long rest. I don't know if my detect thoughts ability, which is from my telepathic intelligence feat, allows me to do it without the verbal, somatic, and motion component.
If you were going to cast detect thoughts, you would need to say the words and do the hand signals. You can't. You can send him a message, so to speak, but he can't reply. You don't have a message as a cantrip, do you?
No.
No, so there's no. Yeah.
Or I do. If I do, it's not prepared. So.
Yeah. Well, cantrips are. I remember looking at your character sheet at one point, and you had message as well as the telepathy, and I remember thinking, well, that's a bit redundant, but if you've got that, then you could definitely message Sam, just, and he'd be able to reply. But
according to my sheet, I don't have message. I might have changed it, Sam.
Then that's fine. Yeah, you must have changed it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
In which case, I'm just going to say, So he's clearly lying, isn't he? So I'm just going to say sentimental value. Eh?
Indeed, as I say, it would not fetch much on the open market, but it is important that it is returned to me. My dear heart would break, and I had hoped to bestow it to my nephew upon, well, tide and time forbid my eventual passing.
Well, was your nephew the boy that stole it from you?
Ooh, son for tend. No, my own nephew is not so clumsy.
But
As
you're
to
clumsy enough to get caught in our pockets.
indeed, the young lad in question was, well, let us say he will learn his lesson.
Like his dad did, pointing over towards the black-eyed man.
Indeed, we have ways of learning lessons that do not go easily forgotten. Janus. And the fellow with the black eye looks a bit sheepish. And
Well said,
frowns.
sir. We would have been well within our rights to hold this little boy up before the magistrate, or indeed give him a severe beating and probably had nobody look twice. And we sent him on his way with just a clip around the ear, if memory serves.
And your grace and prudence, we are always glad to see the like of here in Hylori. Indeed, sirs, you are welcome here. You have proven yourselves capable, and word of your aptitude has spread well enough that I'm sure none of my colleagues' children would wish to bump into you in such a way for the rest of your stay. But, gentlemen, the item in question, I trust, remains safely in your possession. And that is why I have come. So that I might have it returned. It seems to me that you are men who respect property having its rightful owner.
Oh, whatever gave you that impression? No, well, in a way. Our friend Cal Siga in the Artificers Temple, University, whatever you might call it.
Mr. Seeger and I are, well, we've known each other for some time.
Well, sorry, Jed, I need to ask because I know I found out something about this object, but Gav can't remember at all.
Yeah.
There was a tinge of a certain type of magic on it, wasn't there? Transmutation or something? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what I told you. I'm rubbish with magic.
Say again?
I'm rubbish with remembering schools of magic myself. Yeah, let me grab. I'm just gonna have to work.
Sorry, Gex. What did you say? I didn't hear you. You broke up.
Oh, I don't know. Sure you said.
Okay.
Sure you're right. Transmutation.
I completely forgot about this object.
Has an expensive clockwork item. I didn't write anything more.
Yeah, that's all I knew as well. We
figured
didn't look
you'd
into
remember
it
the
too
magic-y
much.
shit.
Yeah, I never wrote down the notes.
It means nothing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly has a trace of magic about it, but it was nothing too intense. It certainly has what you might make out as clockwork going around it, and is roughly palm-sized, easily pocketable.
All right. Well, as I'm sure you're aware, we've been to the King's Court recently. And as I'm sure you're aware, he indeed runs the city. So, while we don't want any trouble with you or your East End vagabonds, I'm quite unsure as to why I should give this device back to you, not knowing what it does. It could be some sort of terrifying maledict to the people of your area.
Oh, sir, if I possess such device, do you really think I would ask a, as you put it, vagabond, ruffian, to carry such a thing in his pocket?
Well, I think he stole it from you. That's what happens when you hang around with thieves.
You imagine he may have, and there's a chuckle on the guy's face now. He may have stolen it from me.
Well, if it is indeed valuable, I don't understand why you, of all people, capable and learned, would have a dumb child like that carry it around the city. And especially stop to pickpocket us along the way.
Well,
You've got to find yourself a better class of thief.
now, in that, sir, we are agreed.
Maybe the little bastard stole it for him and was bringing it to him.
That's what I'm thinking.
You see?
Was there markings on the device, Jed?
Yes.
In
Now, what
fact-
exactly did it say?
I've learned to identify since then. Oh, but it still takes a minute to cast. Shit. So the device, where is the device? Is it in the bag of holding?
Did you put it in
Yeah,
the
I
bag of
think
holding?
you've got
Yeah.
it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I carry the
think
bag
I
of
get
holding,
it.
do I?
I'll let you decide whether it's in the bag of holding or if it's in your pocket, Gav.
Okay. Well, identify takes too long to cast. I won't be able to do it quick. Blah blah blah.
I think we made some investigation checks before, didn't we?
Yeah, but they weren't too conclusive because it was kind of alien to all of us.
Maybe you suddenly need a pee, yeah.
I was thinking that, but that's not going to happen. As in, they're not going to allow that to happen.
Piss on the floor.
Right, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You can have it back. The object's in my room. If you allow me to go and fetch it, my compatriots will remain with you here.
Oh, well. Give me a persuasion roll there, Gav.
If I am actually lying, because it's on my
I was
person.
gonna
Yeah.
So could I use deception?
You can use deception, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Makes more sense.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh,
There's a paltry 13.
Paltry 13. Okay, I'm going to give him an insight check. His insight's not bad. With this guy, it's a +4 for his insight. So if I roll, that's about a 50% chance, right?
Yeah.
If I roll
Yeah.
it.
oh
No.
boy.
Yeah.
I can't see that. It's yellow and white
18.
to yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
22.
yeah, it's not too bad at all. In your room, did you say, Mr. Black?
Sure.
Well, I think. And he looks over to the man with the black eye, Janus. Janus turns to leave. He's going to walk past you, Sam, if you're standing by the door.
Oh, he's not going to find it.
Janus happens to be rather adept at finding things that are lost.
Is he a transmutative magician of the fourth circle?
Are you, sir?
No. One never likes to play their hand too early. And unless your man can reach into pocket dimensions and pull objects from them, he won't have much hope.
What were we going to ask there, Sam?
I was going to look at Gav and do like a sideways head. Should I follow? You know what I mean, like that kind of. If the guy goes,
I'll just kind of nod to say no. But
yeah, okay.
Nod to say no.
It's a custom
what I was
from.
Yeah.
You'll gesture no.
I was more looking to get out of these people's eyes for a minute to do my magic.
Yeah.
Anyway, let them fuck off up the stairs. Whatever. It's their one less now.
Yeah.
So what's the object do, Mr. Percy?
Indeed, it is a wondrous device. As I say, it had belonged to my great uncle and will in time go to my nephew. Are you familiar, Mr. Black, with the principles of clockwork?
Yeah, I've heard of such things. No expert, though.
Sorry, I'm briefly... Give me a second, lads, sorry.
I'm fucking half tempted to just kick this off.
Yeah.
This guy's annoying me.
Yeah. I mean, I've just been waiting for the go.
Waiting to pull the trigger on it as a manner of speaking.
Yeah. But that's why I was half tempted to follow the guy, because I could just go and kill him. Just go up to the room and
You
just
dirty
fucking
backstabber.
Yeah, you don't do it in quiet, though.
Yeah. I don't know.
He killed a guy with his scimitar in the lizard camp. That was pretty quiet.
Yeah. I did also
Wasn't that before he fucking... Yeah. Wasn't that before he fucking invented his gun?
I did also shoot that guy off the horse as soon as the fucking thing started.
Same time, yeah.
Indeed. Sorry, right, okay, yeah. So, Percy is looking directly at it and says, indeed, this is a rather exquisite timepiece. Do you know, sir? It is designed for the tracking and monitoring of the passage of time through the day. My uncle, my great uncle, and, well, whoever has held it has found quite some aptitude in managing their day and being on time for things.
Sounds boring as fuck. How much?
I beg your pardon, sir? As I say, it is not of much use to the average man. Most folks track the sun or burn a candle or, well, we have the sundials in the squares of the city, do we not?
Yeah, so why do you need this, is what my friend is trying to get at. If it's such sentimental value, and you're such a loving uncle, why not pony up?
There's a small little smile on his face. He says, gentlemen, I am willing to offer 150 gold pieces for its safe return.
Tell you what, I'll make you a counter offer there, Mr. Percy. You'll allow me to cast one spell on this object, and I'll give it to you for free.
One spell, indeed. May I watch?
Of course.
But then,
You can
indeed,
do it right now.
You are a wizard, are you?
Well, yes.
Right now, you say? And
Oh,
so,
yes.
my associate, dear Janus, he is wasting his time in
Well, of
your
course.
room. Very good, very good. You reach into your pocket and find the metal silvery disc in your pocket there, as it was. The feels cold, but has a slight buzz as you touch it. A regular beat like a heart against the palm of your hand. If you're drawing it out,
Yeah, we'll do.
It is of a shiny, elegantly, what's the fucking word? I'm trying to engraved metal, embossed, engraved. Yeah, decorated. It's a shiny, decorated metal with a hinge on one side. The word Sift Amser, Amser, are engraved into one side in amongst the floral kind of leaf-like pattern around things. And Gav, yeah, I do recall you casting, and I've just checked my notes, it would be transmutation on this. Indeed.
Yeah, I didn't think I knew Identify at the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm now going to cast Identify. It takes a minute.
It takes a minute? Okay. Describe to us what that looks like, what you're doing. Mr. Percy is not going to react especially, but he is looking down upon it. And there is a pleased, maybe greedy look on his eye.
So it's going to be placed like 6 inches from the edge of the table in front of me, and I'll just have my hands in a circle around it. And as I start to cast, like lines of light will go between my fingers to kind of form a dome over the thing. And it'll just get brighter and brighter and brighter until it's like a full sphere. And at the end of the minute, that'll just dissipate.
And that dissipates and whips into the air and makes shapes and patterns that only you can read. The words Sift Amser, you realized, mean shift time. There is a means, you realize, in holding this pocket watch, which does indeed, you realize, accurately keep track of time. That the hands tick, tick, tick the seconds away, and you have spent enough time around clocks. But you realize, hold this watch in such a way that the tick, tick, tick would not only go forwards but backwards.
Oh my god, it's Bernard's watch.
It's not a time pause, but I think I might not have saved it properly. I made a fucking homebrew item of this, but basically, Gav, I will describe the function to you. I will get you to write this down. The thing has 3 charges. The charges, you roll a d6 at dawn, and you get half the d6's worth of recharges at dawn for that. Now, as a reaction, you can spend 1 charge if you or a creature you can see makes an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. You can force a reroll. So this is analogous to the Chronomancer. If you're familiar with the Chronomancer wizard class, their chronal shift ability to do that. So you can basically force a reroll. Target is within 30 feet of you using one of those charges and your reaction.
Okay.
Oh, that's worth more than
You
150 gold.
would need to be attuned to it.
Yeah, copy.
Yeah, I did make a homebrew item of it on D&D Beyond, but I think I've not saved it properly because I'm a dipshit.
No worries.
But yeah.
Okay.
Percy looks over to you and says, "Well, sir, that was very pretty. I trust I may take my heirloom now and
Yeah, of course.
tell me,
My
Boris,
word is my bond.
would you mind calling up for Janus there? And we will be on our way, gentlemen.
I'll
If
stand.
you..." And he stands. He takes the pocket watch, the Sift Amser, from the table and hides it in the breast pocket of his vest, of his, pulls his cloak on back over his shoulders. Mr. Black, if you are looking to do a little more work while you're here in town. You gentlemen seem apt, talented. I always have a need for such individuals. Come to the Barrel of
Interesting.
Nails in the East End. If I'm not there, I'm sure you'll know someone who is willing to act in my stead. Or at least you can wait a little while. The Barrel of Nails, that was.
Cool, got it noted.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Mr. Percy. At least we didn't have to shed any blood.
Oh, things are always better in that way. I am surprised, but I do appreciate your grace in this matter. It seems you are capable of making some truly wise decisions, and I value that in my acquaintances. Ah,
Well, have a nice walk home. And make sure you instill those values in those young children.
indeed, sir. Indeed, I shall.
Tell them to stop being racist.
Yeah.
Well, the ills of society are perhaps more than one person can solve, but thank you very much, sir. I admire your esteem in my ability to shape the minds of the youth of this city. And with that, he pulls his hood from his cloak over his head. The man with the black eye comes down the stairs, and the two men in the linen shirts both hunch their shoulders as they open the door of the Swan Hotel and step out into the rain, which is now coming down heavy, pattering in the once dusty earth, turning into a thin mud, pooling in places. And they walk across the street and into the darkness and disappear.
Right, gentlemen. So, didn't go exactly according to plan, but I did get the chance to identify the object. It, a couple of times a day can force somebody to kind of fail on it changes the flow of time, so it messes up somebody's maybe swing with a sword or the things they're about to say in a conversation. It's an invaluable object.
Huh.
But
Sounds like we should have killed him for it.
well, we now know where he is and what he has and how valuable it is, so we can make that decision on a more informed level. What I'm saying is, he's scum who breaks the law and corrupts the city, and he will get what is coming to him. But maybe just not in this nice hotel where we're staying.
Fine.
I always thought the monk would be teaching me patience, Jethro.
That man is evil. I can smell it on him.
Yeah.
He deserves a clobbering.
And he'll get one. Just not in our hotel the day we were made king's wards, and not, when we've got to see the king tomorrow.
I suppose. Don't want a black eye or anything like that, idiot. Sorry, he just really riled me up. What a smarmy bastard.
Yes, I agree.
Woosah.
Right, Titus. No, not Titus, sorry, Tor. You've seen that object long enough. Do you think you could locate it?
Yeah, when I've got the right spell equipped, or right, so I've got everything
Memorized.
ready. And yeah, not a problem.
Nice. Well, there we go, gentlemen. We'll have it back in our hands in no time.
Sounds like a plan before we leave on our journey.
I think locate is also a ritual casting.
So what
You
you're
can
saying
see-
is we got a heist on the go.
Okay. Locate object,
Well,
not ritual casting, but that's easy enough.
I don't know whether it'll be a heist or what I would feel is a well-justified assassination.
A kick in
Or
the door.
execution, maybe.
A police raid.
That I can get behind.
Vic, I'm going to make a ruling. Which is for ritual castings, you do have to. I mean, in fact, I'm not making
It's not a
ruling.
ritual.
Thingy's
but
not
ritual anyway.
I remembered you asking me about this before. So you do need to have the spell prepared even to cast it as a ritual.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clarify something. I am looking it up in the rulebook. So yeah,
That's the same for me, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
because
need to
I've
have it-
unlearned Find Familiar, and it's no
Yeah.
longer got the option to cast it in my D&D Beyond.
Yeah. So Gav, I imagine you'll still know Find Familiar, but you might not have it prepped.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is it. Is if you
Sure.
have the spell prepared, you can cast it as a ritual. It takes you an extra 10 minutes, but it doesn't use the spell slot.
Yeah.
And that's the point of doing it. But you do still need to have it prepared, I'm afraid.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I'll prepare it for tomorrow anyway. Who knows what we'll end up doing. And it's only one spell slot. Like,
Second.
all right, I'm going to grab a drink, take a leak. Are we bedding down for the night, or is there anything else people want to do?
I'll bet.
Yeah, cool. Back in a sec then.
Yep.
I bet you.
Oui.
That one.
Get a snack.
Yeah. So I'm going to grab a snack myself just quickly.
Right back.
Okay.
No, that was good, lads. My plan was, if you hadn't approached those kids, to have somebody try and raid your bedroom in the night. Fuck up another one.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. I was kind of tempted to cast, like, Tiny Hut and get everyone to stay outside
Yeah.
as a way to stop that from happening, but,
Yeah.
like, it was like, fuck it, we'll engage with them.
Do you know Alarm, Gav?
No, but it's on my list.
Yeah.
My big list of spells to learn.
Sure. Alarm's a good one for that. Yeah.
If you're mixing up your prepared spells, Vic, having Moonbeam learned anyway is a really good damage spell. Because it lasts, like, I think a minute and you can move it around. Is that the one that lasts a minute?
I think so. I think you can bonus action to move it, right?
Moonbeam
Yeah.
takes an action to move, but it's brilliant.
okay.
An action to move.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Okay.
Yeah. It's it's not Flaming Sphere, I think, is a bonus action to move.
And Moonbeam, you got to concentrate on it as well, so you can't do much else.
Yeah.
While
I've seen druids built like specifically around Moonbeam. Like it's excellent. I play with a moon druid who does loads of really good stuff. Actually, he's a turtle as well, but of just casting Moonbeam and then getting it into a tanky wild shape and spending his action every turn moving the Moonbeam around like a fucking ion cannon. And yeah, it's great. That's the same guy who plays from fucking Venue Green Rooms, actually.
Okay, so we good with the long rest?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, just sleeping. Not used anything. Oh, you guys probably use spells.
No, yeah, take yourselves through the long rest. I appreciate you checking. Morning comes, and the air is cooler than it has been in days. Not the cold of autumn or even winter. The recently more remembered spring. But certainly the rain has stayed with you overnight. And this is, for those of you who are local, how you remember Lorech being. How it probably will be for some time. You know, you realise that the sunshine of midsummer is, frankly, an exception rather than the rule. And perhaps you've savoured it. Perhaps you've enjoyed it. Perhaps you're glad to see the familiarity of rain return. But below you, the streets are waking up. There are the cry of fish sellers coming in. People rush back and forth. You know, dreading work, trudging in the rain. But the city is coming awake by the time you are. Fire is lit downstairs. Smoke tickles your nostrils. You have a new day.
Right, old gentleman, I need to seek out a magician or two in town to see if I can find some spells that will help us in the future.
What?
And I
Yeah,
I believe it was midday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's midday that you're expected at the palace again. I had forgotten to ask you if you had a name for the magician that you studied under, the wizard that you studied under in.
The guy I met that I studied with was Saeed Orient.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
And I think I did have. I studied under two people. One of them was a man of medicine.
That's
Don't
what I
quite
remember.
know
Yeah.
exact. And then I had a mage tutor as well.
Yeah. So that's So I remember that. I was wondering if you had names. If not, I can assign names to these people.
No, I've got names. I'm just looking them up now.
Yep.
So my magician guy was named Magnus. And then my my other guy, the the fucking doctor guy was Lear, Lior.
And he will have himself.
They were both human, and they were both kind of elderly. So whether they're still alive or not is up to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There will itself be a temple to the body physic. And that's where you will have gone to have learned anatomy and setting bones and, the stitching of wounds, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that'll probably play into my religious streak as well. So
this is also what I think. This being, quite. I mean, I've talked about the religion here being quite physicalist, quite materialistic in the precise sense, quite tied in with the actual material plane, and reticent, although you have witnessed it, to delve into divine magics. And I think this is where some of your frustration may have come from. This is a man who could be doing more to heal the body more miraculously and more with a greater streak of divinity, but wasn't willing to look at it insisted that it could be done in mundane ways, and that was the honest way of doing these things. And I think, without wanting to put words in your mouth, that's where the frustration, the tension,
Yeah, that
Obadiah
sounds
faces. Yeah,
proper.
yeah, That's what I had in mind for it, based on what you've told me about Obadiah and your.
So I think my medical tutor was a part of this temple and a well-respected and probably a bigger figure in society.
Yeah.
And then my magician tutor was maybe I went to study afterwards to learn about what magic could do to the body.
Yeah.
And this is a smaller time guy. He's probably, renting the top few floors of a building, and he's teaching like 5 or 6 students, but he's kind of penniless as well, so he gets them to do a little bit of work as well.
Exactly.
And he's doing a bit of necromantic magic, and he's probably, keeping people. I don't know. Maybe he's like visiting gravesides with mothers who've lost a child, and like he's casting Speak with Dead on the child to bring closure to the mother. He's kind of reaching out and doing things that wouldn't be deemed normal.
Yes,
I suppose,
exactly. Yeah,
or acceptable in proper society.
Not kosher. Not kosher at all.
No.
It's all a little bit hush hush, wink and nod, but recognised as necessary, perhaps.
In times of war, yes.
Indeed.
So yeah, my initial approach was to see, I don't know how magic and I don't know if like you get magic shops or if that's a bit cheesy and high fantasy or however you want to do it. So I'll either happily look up some old contacts in the morning, either these two guys, or one of them anyway, Lear, or I'll go down to the magic district and go into the magic shop and see if I can exchange a few, spells. Or whatever.
Yeah, so there's not going to be. So, for example, the court palace you've witnessed has wizards in place there. It has clerics in place there, and so the palace court has such things. Wizards are still few and far between. Magic items are themselves, not something everybody has access to, and magical services can be, expensive, taxing. People are not, there's a little bit of home magic. Most families will have someone who can light the fire with just a clap and a few words. A little bit of domestic kind of home learning of
like hedge
things,
magic or whatever. Yeah.
This is exactly it, kind of folk magic and things like that. But spells on the level that you yourself can do are more and more exceptional. Regardless, you know well enough the city to be able to find, for example, Magnus's shop and academy.
Sorry, that was Lear.
So Lear
was the medic.
Lear was the medic. Magnus is a magical academy.
I messed up. The other way around. Yes, it's Magnus is the medic.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if I studied with Saeed, I know it was only a passing comment that I recognised them. So I studied with him under the mage or under the healer?
Yes, under Lear. Under the mage. He is.
So I might talk to him later on then.
You might assume working in some role as a court mage. That's the inference you can draw there, is that he's there in some kind of official capacity. Now, he might have simply been there as audience, but he's certainly a guy who has a seat in court, and is educated to some degree in magic. Although whether he's kept up with the practice or that's his only specialty or whatever, that's for you to discover.
Cool. Okay. Well. Yeah, then I'm gonna try hunt down Lear.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'll explain this to the guys over breakfast. Like, I think today we should prep for, I don't know, possibly being instructed to leave straight away, or possibly having to hit Percy tonight and then get out of town.
Yeah.
Right.
So if there's anything you need, let me know and I can divvy up the cash.
Don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to find my old tutor, Lear. He should be down on Peasant Street.
Magic Street.
Yeah.
It's actually not too far from the Hall of Artifice, a place like this. He rents but also lives in. It's a former painter's studio, and this is the way the place was built. The light faces north and catches an even glimmer. It's facing specifically north and away from the Hall of Artifice, and so the sheen of the building will hit those across the street, but not come directly into his windows. The place stays cool and dry and holds an even light all day long, all year round. The street itself is Merrydown Lane. There is a cider. What's the fucking word? I don't know. Press, I guess. At one end. Not a fucking cider press, but
A
yeah.
cidery.
Yes, why not? Brewery, whatever, at one end. And further along, there are various businesses, but you recall Lear's Esoterica and Arcanum, with the schoolrooms upstairs and the meeting rooms, consulting rooms. That's the word I want to use. Downstairs.
Is any of the lads coming with me?
I'll go with.
Nah.
Cool.
Are you going to wait at the Swan, Sam, or you're going to go and do something else?
Yeah, I'll go do something else, but just do Gav's thing first.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't want to be hogging all the limelight here. Like,
I'll go with. Well, you're in the shitty part of town, you know.
Yeah.
We'll black up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there are cheaper businesses. There are places selling, copious amounts of booze and cheap shoes and odds and ends around here. This is it's the building isn't dilapidated, but it's certainly not in a great state of repair. This coming from a guy who may well know a spell that can instantly mend things, and it kind of looks that way. It's had bits bolted on or fixed at various levels and not quite taped up, but the equivalent of that many, many times. The glass in the door windows is all warped and grown in different ways, as though it has been smashed and mended, smashed and mended, smashed and mended. It has a crisscross of barely visible scars across it.
I'll give the door a good rap with my walking stick, which I'm now transforming into a walking stick because I think it's cooler than a staff.
Yeah, fine. Yep. The door rattles on its hinges. It is effectively a shop door. You could open it.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll walk in after knocking.
Yeah. And it opens into a large room with some empty bookshelves at one end and a counter, although no one is at it.
Well, this place hasn't changed.
And a moment later, the door at the far end opens. You hear somebody come down the last few stairs. And another walking stick and a rather gnarled hand turns the corner. The man who was old years ago when you studied under him, turns and looks directly at you. His eyes are broad and fixed on, although his skin is creased like wood grain. No, it is, his eyes look sharp. And he smiles as he sees you and says, Dyer. You're back. That is pleasant.
Well, I thought I'd drop in to see the old man one more time.
Very good. How are you? Have you kept up your practice?
Yo, of course, yes. As of late, had plenty of chance to use it too.
That's so. You have been in demand with Goss, if I recall.
Well, yes, Goss, and more recently with His Royal Highness. And I give him a little cheeky smirk.
Is that so? You have... so you will be here in the capital more permanently now, then?
Well, my friends and I, may eventually make ourselves a home here, but I think we're being sent north to investigate this comet.
A comet?
Comet, come. Tell me you didn't notice it.
Yes, I did sense something of a passing of a heavenly sphere. Some descent. Well...
Descent is quite right, I think.
What do you think is happening there? Do you know
Well, it
anything
seems
more than I do?
seems as Goss's daughter is some sort of, well, what would you say? Maybe chosen?
Oh,
Yeah, it's all very dark and ugly.
goodness me, that does sound. I hope that hasn't been too much for you. I don't blame you for leaving the house if that's... Well, I'm sure no one could blame you for seeking a new post of employment.
Oh, it's
Well, that's going on.
not quite like that. I was her tutor, just as you were mine, and I spent 4 or 5 years training the girl. So
Oh, so
she has some ability, if I do say so myself. But I would just hope it's used in a proper, lawful manner.
Well, I'm sure you didn't come this way to trade noble gossip. Well, what can I do for you?
Trade noble magic, hopefully, Master Lear. There's a particular spell I'm looking for. I've read about it, but I've no inkling to its creation. A spell of banishment. Plus, there's numerous others, smaller little things that I might have learned on my travels that we could exchange.
Banishment. Yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a roll. This guy has got a +7 on his Arcana check. Now, what do we think is a fair DC? 15?
Looking for a specific spell, I'd go even higher.
Yeah.
Well,
Banishment's not a super high level spell. So,
yeah.
So that's what I mean. So it's not super high level.
Maybe it's third, is it?
Let me have a look at this. Let me check it. What I'll do is I'll go 10 plus the spell's level. It's a 4th level spell, so we'll go 14. He's got a +7 on his Arcana. So if he rolls higher than that, he can show it to you, and we'll make you a copy for a price.
And I see you haven't been teaching your students mending.
Oh well, that's a little party trick, and that's absolutely fine. But he totters over to the empty, apparently, bookshelf and runs his finger along it and plucks from the air a sheet of parchment that he turns around to you and says, "This would be the summation that you are looking for."
Oh, excellent.
Rather a strong spell in the right hands, this.
Yes, I don't believe it's within my ability to cast it at the moment, but With more practice, I should be able to.
Now, not one I have had much call for over the years. The true benefit of this is... Now, that comet, when I refer to it as a heavenly sphere, it is not...
Well, I think a better, more accurate description might be an otherworldly sphere. An other planar sphere, possibly.
Yes.
Hence my need to brush up on these type of things.
Truly, that is a concern.
Like, I would also... I'm seeking a spell about the protection of good and evil. You know, something about non-detection. There's so many. We don't actually know what we'll be facing up north, so it's hard to predict these things. But if you care to take a look over my book in exchange for this, and of course I'd happily make a donation to the school.
So I'm going to go with the player's handbook. The player's handbook note for copying spells is it's 50 gold pieces per level of spell. So for this, you'd be looking at 200 gold pieces, and that would be a standard rate. Let's say that for buying and selling spells like that.
Cool, that works for me.
If you've got anything that you'd like to pitch that you think this guy won't know, being as he was your teacher.
Well, I've got a lot of transmutation magic, like movement magic.
Yeah.
Like I plan to go down the route of teleportation and things like that. So I've got Misty Step, which is always really handy.
Yep.
Hang on, I'm just after clicking off my character sheet, so I have to load it up again.
Yep.
So at the higher end, I've got Vampiric Touch, Tiny Hut, Summon Undead, Speak with Dead, Magic Circle, Animate Dead. They're my third level spells.
Yeah.
Then I've got Suggestion, Shadow Blade, Misty Step, Enhance Ability, Dark Vision. They're my second levels.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no point in going through all the cantrips and firsts. So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him an Arcana check, basically for a similar kind of thing. Now, what I said to you in terms of learning spells from another thing was you were going to roll an Arcana check with a 13 per level of the spell. Is that right? That's what I said to you. So again, if I give him a 13 or higher, I'll let him just copy a spell off you, and we'll half that cost. How does that sound?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, so you'd be looking at 100 gold pieces then for the banishment. But no, he's not so good at that. He's going to note down a couple of things.
Look, I'll happily pay the price of the materials needed to copy the spell now.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm back in the city, I'll drop by and we can have a little talk, maybe over dinner sometime.
Let's say he knows all those spells that you've recommended him already.
Cool. Well, we got 200 cash for the horses, so that's Goss's cash. So that's going on this spell.
Yep. And you can note banishment down on your notes. And did you want to make a check for your long rest last night towards copying a spell over from anything that you've had already, or from your
also
your
crafting some? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, good call.
Yeah. Those of you who are crafting stuff.
I didn't plan for that, Jed. I just wrote that I knew those spells because I was carrying two spell books opposed to copying them to my main spell book.
Okay.
So no, what I'm going to do is not copy them to my. I'm going to maybe have a non-necromantic spell book and then a necromantic spell book. It might make sense in the future.
That makes sense. For the gods to strike with lightning.
Yeah.
That was like it was Dex plus proficiency, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
that's loads.
Yeah. That's more than 13. I feel like I remember, Gav, you finding some scrolls for other spells that Vic found for you. Maybe some scrolls.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I
And
didn't
you
go
would-
through
I'll
them.
have to go back in my notes for that, so that could be a while.
I
We'll
honestly
do it as
don't
admin
remember.
afterwards, and
Yeah,
then I'll come to you. I'll drop you a note whether I want them or not.
Yeah, that's fine. I have them
So I'm
written
going to
down.
add banishment. Oh, it won't let me add banishment until I get to the level. But yeah, okay.
Okay, so banishment I think was on that list. We had identify, spirit shroud, summon undead, magic circle, magic jar, and banishment. Were on that list.
Oh, from the other book.
They were ones that I
From
think
the Libram.
were they in the Libram, or were they ones that because
No,
Vic
I think.
found
Okay, yeah, cool.
Vic
Not
I
cool.
found
ransacked a load of scrolls and shit.
yeah,
like
he stole a load of scrolls, and that was that. Because he
Oh,
rolled pretty well,
banishment's on
actually.
one of them.
Banishment was on one of them. Yeah.
Oh,
Or on
sorry, lads. I've just wasted a shitload of time.
whether they were, I think they were pages out of spell books rather than scrolls that you can cast
Mhm.
directly from, if that makes sense. But they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
If
didn't realise that.
Well, if you know that, Gav, because I'd forgotten as well, just briefly. I had to look back through an old note.
Yeah, I see them here. I've got a list of spells, and there's 6
Yeah.
spells done differently.
Yeah.
Spirit Shroud, Summon Undead, Magic Circle, Magic Jar, Banishment, and Identify.
Yeah.
That's where
Exactly.
I
Yes,
learned Identify
that's where
from.
you learned Identify from, exactly. So again, if you want to work on knowing one of those, including if you want to make a roll towards learning Banishment,
Well,
I'll say, yeah.
I picked Identify when I went up to 6th level.
Yep.
So, I don't know, do I still need to roll that? Or do I just get that from my learning?
Did you learn Identify just from leveling up, or did you learn it from?
I can't honestly remember. Because I dicked around with my spell book last week.
Yeah.
Look, I'll happily make the roll. I'll succeed over the next few days anyway, so...
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
My Arcana is like +7. I roll a 4, 11. So not last night, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the way that I've had the other guys do crafting checks, where they were doing Tinker Tools checks or whatever, and 13 was the DC. I've set a number of things. Now, what I'm saying to you, as I said, is a success per level of the spell, and then when keep track of which spell you're learning and how long that takes, rather than me saying,
That kind of gums up the what happened just in the last scene. But
yes, it does a little bit because we.
But I could have learnt it when I leveled up, because the only new spell I took, I believe, was. Let me just check.
Yeah.
I got Summon Undead automatically, I think, and I had Speak with Dead already and Vampiric Touch already. Yeah, I think Identify works.
Yeah.
I think I could have learned it.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry about that.
We'll count you as having a success towards. We'll count you as having a success towards.
Identify. I rolled an 11, 10 plus 1.
Having us, we'll count you as having a success towards banishment if you'd like. And
how about meeting this guy gives him another success towards it? Or something?
Yeah. Let's count that. Time. Definitely. Yeah. You don't need to.
Okay.
He's giving you some notes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll leave it there, and let Sam do his thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sam, let's do your morning.
I'm just going to send you a message, Jed.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to take a leak back in a sec.
Yeah.
While
Vic, is there anything you'd like to do with your morning? Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. While this is all going on, I want to go and have a look for a Temple of the Tree, like the one that was in place with Movis.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then just have a look, see if there's any markings or anything left by Druid, any moss from Druid communication.
Yeah.
Also, would like to pay very close attention to the tree, and just make sure I memorize the bad boy. I know what it looks like.
I know what you mean. Yeah, sure. I know full blown what you mean there. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That is it for Pornoxing. There is another thing. I need. Oh, actually no. Well, lads, it's when we're all together, obviously. being a druid, I do need to go and see other druids at some point, and we have a big conclaved meet. And it's been quite a while since I've been able to go and see one. You see, so if there's any chance we could swing by and find where they might be meeting at some point, it'd be very much appreciative. They may even know something about the this green comet motherfucking thing. It's you know.
I've never seen a gathering of druids. That sounds very interesting.
It's a wild time. Oh, it'll open your mind, all right.
I was thinking, yeah, it'd be a spiritual experience.
You druids like to get freaky, we do.
God, maybe not an orgy. Hermit celibate monk. Well, let's not go that far.
Well, you don't know what you do once you've had a couple of our drinks and food. You know what we're doing, we do.
Down for whatever.
So is that Titus isn't coming down for breakfast, Sam?
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay, that's fine.
Creepy bastard.
Titius is there in his bedroom stroking the knife, going, mate.
Just stroking it backwards and forwards increasingly quickly.
Licking the blade.
Until he gets, shall we say, blood everywhere and has
Licking the tip.
Yeah.
Just the tip.
Vic, you can take yourself off. You remember, Torok will remember the Street of Shrines, which incidentally, Merrydown Lane, which Gav has been to visit, is roughly in between there, and is kind of spans between the Street of Shrines and the Hall of Artifice. But the Street of Shrines has several little places, some larger than others, and you can indeed find a place with a large and lonely kind of ragged looking red barked pine growing tall to catch what sun there is, and it's shaking in the wind, this Scots pine, this tree. It is reaching up, but the doors of the shrine around which it is built are simple and wooden. And what? And there is a dwarf inside, wrapped in furs, sweeping up needles from the floor. He looks over and says, evergreen as ever.
Oh, it's always green here.
Indeed. Vic, the walls of this place are lined with mosses and ivy. And there is a lot of growth. This is by far the most peaceful, kind of nurturing place you've been to in the couple of days that you've been to the city. It is calming for you. If you're looking out for druidic messages, I think it says you notice these things automatically. And so there's quite a bit of odd looking, it's almost like graffiti. Certain people have left marks of their names, kind of, records that they've been there, or dates and things like that. People have been there recently who are able to shape the moss and the leaves to leave druidic messages for others to spot who know how to look for them.
Yep.
The dwarf who's in there notices you looking and says, "You're of the craft yourself?"
I am. But not from around these parts. Deep from the south, I am. Not used to seeing your fucking temples devoted to trees.
Well,
Normally down to the mountains, isn't it?
I've been above ground for longer than my father would be proud, but this is the best place to be. It's nurturing.
Yes, it is. Being under the sky. So, do you know where there might be a meet going on? I'm looking for the conclave.
The conclave. Well,
Or a
there's
conclave, We have a big
Hmm.
gathering.
Yeah, I know. We had a few folks around here. Well, a month or so ago, under the moon. Next one, be a little way up the coast in a couple of days. Just the other side of the river, I imagine. There's a little beach. They do come around here, you can see, and he points at a few marks on the thing. Other folks have been here not just within the month, but within a couple of days. Some of these are, very fresh indeed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you were to go, he counts on his fingers and then he points and counts at a couple of leaves, ivy leaves, on the wall. Ah. Tomorrow night? Under the moon, if the moon strikes. And if it doesn't, well, wear something waterproof. Wear something that'll not mind getting wet. There's a little cove. You'll see it from the cliff top, but there's no easy way down. You'd have to get to it from the water, But you'll find some friends there. Tomorrow night, I reckon.
So where was that again, buddy? Sorry, I was I went away with the fairies down by the waterside and the cliff.
There's what he said is there's a little cove just across the river. There's no way down to it, but you could get to it from the water indeed, easily. Just
Okay.
wear something that knows how to swim.
Look at me. I don't wear much anyway.
No, I think you'll not have a problem there, my friend. But yeah, maybe I'll see you there myself.
Maybe you
Maybe
will.
you'll even recognize me, eh?
Hey. Well, definitely. I'm sure there ain't many druid dwarves around.
He might not be in the same form.
But, right then. Thank you, Prava.
You got time for a cup of pine needle tea?
Why not? My friends are conducting their own business. We'll be going soon, though.
The dwarf goes away and boils up some pine needles and comes back, and the tea is quite bitter, quite sharp, but not unpleasant. Not unpleasant indeed.
Thank you, my friend. It's been a while. So what do we call you? Brava of the three.
Calhoun roots these days. Calhoun roots.
What was it in those days, then?
Well, the mountain had roots as well. I suppose that's how you translate it.
Tea. Well, thank you for the tea and the information. I should see you tomorrow evening to meet the, as I had put it, conclave.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I will just,
Yeah.
very nicely stroll out.
The morning goes on. Sam, what you're writing to me about, I'll let you get on with.
Yes, sorry, the cat's on my keyboard.
Oh,
Take
great.
that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Send me a full stop.
Yeah.
Just
There
yeah.
was them as well.
Oh yeah,
I'm
some more
meowing
full
at the door
stops.
to
Yeah.
go out as well.
Yeah, great. Yeah. What you've asked me, Sam, is fine, and I'll let you do it in private, in the privacy of your own home, between consenting adults. I'm not going to narrate all of that.
Yeah.
For anybody else's benefit, they can fuck around and find out, huh? But
Do not stab the knife into something and then sitting on the handle.
Jethro and Obadiah, you have been to visit Leah, had a nice conversation, a trip down memory lane as well as merry down lane. The smell of
Boom,
sour,
boom.
rotten apples kind of trickles along the gutter. But it all generally smells quite good.
Brings me back to my student days.
Indeed, it does. You have spent quite some time in with that crowd.
Before we leave the city, boys, I would like to go and buy like a caged bird and train the little bastard.
What?
I want a little
Oh.
birdie to follow me around.
I know a man who sells parrots from the south.
Something like that would be ideal.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a guy who sells exotic animals on Mead Street. It's actually not too far from the school I used to attend.
It'd be ideal, that would. And, once he's good and happy that I'm happy he's not going to run away, I'll let him out the cage and then I can use him to scout round.
Well, they have these birds called parrots that are quite. What's the word?
I know. They're from down where I'm from. They're very bright bastards.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's all right, Jed, I'm just gonna make sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Encouraged.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got to be at the palace in an hour, so
Yeah, it's only before we leave the city. Doesn't have to be right now.
there's time now.
We're already in the neighborhood.
I think it'd be handy,
All right.
Plenty of times that we've needed something like that.
Let's go. And you're quite right. Although maybe not get a big, brightly patterned one. I've seen them in these reds and blues and yellows and greens. Maybe get a grey one.
Well, I was thinking more like a crow or something originally, but that'd be good.
Well, corvids are meant to be especially intelligent.
That and they're very common as well,
Mm.
You wouldn't be out of place seeing that fucking thing fly around, would you?
Yeah, pigeon.
I know I hit the pigeons.
Pigeons are scum. Pigeons are scum.
Flying rodent, that thing. Just, they eat my
Druid you
eggs.
Very druidic.
They eat the eggs, they do.
They're even worse than starlings, I would say.
Oh, they're worse than the what do you call a bastard? Oh, it's not jackal.
Orcs.
Yeah, those bastards as well.
We don't fly so good.
Cuckoo. So the fucking cuckoo.
That's the one, yeah.
A little bastard thing.
Read about those.
You fly in, throw your egg out the fucking nest, lay his own, and fly off.
Lay his own?
Or her own, Cloaca. You can't tell if they're male or female half the time.
Right, well, let's go. Let's get you this pet you'd like. So, Jed, I'm going to lead them along to Mead Street, which is
absolutely,
just perpendicular to the brewery, sitting on the end of the other lane, Merryweather Lane, whatever it was, Merrydown. And at the far end of it, there's a guy who sells like fucking horrible, like flea bitten and like scabied monkeys from like way down south. But he also sells some like dogs and cats, and he has things in cages, and he has birds hanging from the ceiling.
While we're in cities that you might reasonably in character know your way around, or in an area where you might reasonably know people, I am happy to go by the rule of I know a guy who. And so stuff like this, great way of doing it.
Yeah, as long as they're not selling like magic swords and shit.
This is it.
Here's a handheld nuke.
Yeah. Oh, I know a guy who can open literally every fucking door in the city.
Yeah.
Well, you might do, but his services aren't cheap. Well,
His name's
actually,
the
that
mayor.
guy's yeah.
Actually, he's so dumb. He does everything for free.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
well, when we get there, I'm going to use my wood speech of the wood to have a little, talk around with the animals, see which one's the most amenable.
grunt and
preferably.
greek and squawk with the animals.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
read their reactions and see which one's most likely to be easily trained into doing what I want.
You've been promised exotic southern parrots, and what you come across are, almost closer to fucking pigeons, canaries, that sort of thing. They are not super healthy.
What is this? This is like a buttery garden, isn't it?
Wow, they make excellent pets, don't they?
It was a lot better a few years ago when I was here.
Oh well, maybe.
Not quite like what I'm used to. You've been crossbreeding with these local pigeony things?
No, see these they're very hardy pets. They're what the modern family needs and likes. Don't require any special attention. Deal very well with the climate, which you can see they're making the most of today. He holds his hand out in the rain.
You wouldn't have a hunting bird or something like that, or a corvid.
Get you a corvid, sir. Yeah, fine jackdaw for your rookery.
Well, I don't think so, but that's up to my friend here, Tor. What do you want?
Yeah, jackdaw's pretty good. They're part of the crow family. They're clever little bastards.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I'd have to, bring one out and let me have a word with him.
Oh,
Let's see how trainable he is first.
Come on through. And he opens a door, and what you think would be the inside of a shop is actually revealed to be a fairly sizable courtyard. The place is open skied, but the walls are a labyrinth of cages with squawking animals. Quite how the sound was not penetrating and spilling out onto the street, it's hard to tell. There are feeding troughs and bottles set up on various each ones, but he leads you through, and you are Vic yourself being attuned to these things. You get the sense of excitement that nears on delirium from just seeing something walking around that is not in a cage, from having stimulus. These animals are bored. They are cooped up in the literal sense.
And
they
my
are.
character would be actually getting quite angry at this.
Yeah, I imagine so. This is the reality of the urban pet shop.
But it's not much you can do without causing proper fucking havoc.
Yeah. The place is being in the city has been spiking your anxiety, but this is being in the fucking, in a prison for the innocent.
Better hurry up, mate, because things might turn south for you soon.
Hey, there's no need to be like that. These are all legitimate.
Yeah,
they all come out of breeders anyway. They don't know any better.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. If I did this to you, stuff you in one of these tiny little cages.
Hang on a minute. Off. I don't need to put up with this shit.
Yeah, well, how about a little reset here? We're here for a bit of economic, something or other. We can come out without arguing, and I'm going to quickly cast Charm Person on him.
Okay. I tell you what, I'm not even going to bother rolling a save for the guy. He looks at you, goes, yeah.
Wisdom 15 if he wants it.
let's give him a roll. This guy's not, especially. I'll give it a flat roll. How's that?
That sounds good.
Fuck's
Boom,
sake.
20. Yeah. See, that's why you have to roll.
So the
So
chap.
not only he knows I'm casting a spell on them, but somebody did this last week.
Why does everybody keep trying to cast fucking spells on me? I'm just here to run a fucking business.
I was just trying to calm you down, sir. I didn't want to get this escalate. My friend here, Torok, is from the south, and he knows a lot of these birds quite intimately, and he's a druid. You know, he's like, this is, he doesn't see these things in city, you know.
Druid? A fucking druid? You could be the fucking royal palace sorcerer for all I care. I don't give a shit. And if you're going to come in here and insult my business and try and fuck around with things, I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. I'll take my leave. It was my fault. I overstated my influence in the situation. I'll just leave Tor with the funds to purchase a bird. And what I'll do is very obviously take 10 gold or the gems, or something worth about the same.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm going to hand it to Torok in full view of this guy and then
Yeah.
leave the shop and way out on the street.
Yeah. Now look, do you want to buy a fucking bird or what?
Just hurry up. I'll
Well-
give you to the birds.
They're there, and he points to a wall of caged birds, some of which are still, some of which are looking at mirrors or their own reflection in pools of bowls of water, some of which are bouncing manically and have clearly spotted you and realise that they're being pointed at. There are various different colours and shapes and sizes of birds, including a number of corvids, magpies and the likes, as well as crows, as well as jackdaws, as well as jays.
Okay. I'm going to use me wood speech to have a little, talk around with them. A second. Well, I know I'm so tempted to do, but
Yeah.
it'd cause some right havoc, it would.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to just remind myself of what sort of complexity, because it's not quite a full-blown talk of animals with speech, is it?
No,
It's-
it is. They can understand me, but I have to understand their movements and squawks and whatnot. You know what I mean? They're like, so it's more just to judge the intelligence of a bird, whether it can actually understand me and attempts to reply.
Yeah. Speech of the woods, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you want to talk to these animals about?
And it's just literally seeing if it replies and actually, knows that I'm trying to communicate with it. It's more just an attempt to see if
Yeah.
it's willing to communicate.
Couple
Vic,
of them look.
why not
couple of
go?
them look away. Yep.
Sorry, but Vic, why not go one step deeper and just like ask your intent? Like, who wants to come on an adventure,
Yeah.
and therefore you'll get two
Okay,
birds
yeah,
with one stone.
Who wants to be free? All you have to do is be my eyes in the sky. And see who will answer.
There's a couple looking over at you. There's a couple that have clearly understood what you've said. And then there's a jay that is looking over at you and is upright and is, if you didn't know better, you would say it was nodding its head and looking around at the others and then looking back at you. Classic blue jay, You've seen these things before. Corvid smart, but a little more colourful than the black of the ravens, the jackdaws, the rooks.
Mm-hmm.
It's well preened, it's clean, this jay. But this jay lifts its right foot, claws at the gate, sticks its beak through the bars and calls back to you. Ah, ah, ah. This jay, you can tell, this jay wants to come on an adventure.
Okay.
And it's willing to work for its place.
How much for that one over there? The old J over there.
Well, that one. I mean, it's clawing at its cage. It's
Doesn't matter.
well then. I'd say, well, that gem your friend gave you'll do it. Hey, being
That's
as you all
more
have,
than a fucking jet. That's more than just one bloody J. Thing's not worth 10 gold. You didn't even think you had want that one just a second ago.
let's
Christ.
let's say it's to make up for the inconvenience you have put me through.
What's inconvenient? You're getting a cell?
I think just give the man his gem.
Give me a couple more birds then.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Yeah, go fucking hard or go home.
Oh, 3.
Goes, give the man his fucking money.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that with the roll there. He's going to look at you firmly. He's got a frown on his face. His arms are crossed.
I'll go fine. I'll throw him the gem. Get the J. I am so tempted to cast Fog Cloud and then open all the cages.
He takes a step over, fishes up a hand portable empty cage from a pile basically in the middle of the room. Pops the door of the cage. It's not locked per se, but would be fiddly to open it without two large hands.
I'll say to him, don't worry about that. Just open the cage up now.
What? It'll fucking fly away.
No, he won't.
Are you soft or something?
No, you are, though. You don't know animals like I do.
Oh boy.
Look, you've just.
Hey, you've just
Alright.
got 10 gold there. You can shut up. If I want to give you grief, I'll give you grief. It's not a lot fucking grief's not much for all that money, all that gold.
Here you go then. And he flicks the catch on the cage, opens it, and takes a few steps backwards. There you go. Take your fucking bird and get out of here. Doesn't even have a name, that one.
Don't need a name.
Oh, it does.
You'll be called Nameless now.
I've got a few name ideas here. I've been looking up blue gems.
All right, then. Come on in.
You hold your hand down to it. I will ask you once and only once to make me an animal handling check for this bird.
Yeah.
You've been pretty good to it. You talked to it. You made sure you got the right one, so it's not going to be terribly difficult.
17.
Cool. And the bird comes forward. What are you doing to kind of coax it out? You holding your hand out for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my hand out so
Gives
on my
a
arm
little
and my
bird
hand.
song.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, come on then. And then once he lands on the hand, I will put it onto my shell.
Yeah.
So you can just stand on the rim.
That's exactly what
I can
happens.
groom you.
Yeah. You're gonna
Jay
be picking
finds
up
a
my
spot
fees.
up on the seam of your shell where your neck protrudes from its orifice and perches and looks back over at the man who had kept it caged for so fucking long and lets out a quick trap trap,
It's birdie.
See?
and then
Fuck
you
you.
can, yeah.
You're lucky, matey. If he had his way, he'd be poking your fucking eyes out now.
The man is
Like most of
spewing
these things in here.
his
If any of these
cross.
get free, you might get bloody hurt there. They're not very happy in here, you know. But have a good day, sir. You may see me again sometime.
Lovely trip to the pet shop.
Yeah.
All right. When Tor comes out, I'll say like, so how'd it go?
Well, you see our little friend there?
Oh yeah. What's his name?
He doesn't have one. You can call him son if you want, but I'm just going to call him no name.
Boris.
Hey, maybe you can ask him.
Oh.
Anyway, I think we got to kind of rush to get to the king in time.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Let's go then. Let's go pick up Titius, wherever he's to.
Yeah, we'll swing by the Swan and then we'll head off to the palace.
Titius has been polishing his barrel
Whoa.
in the hotel room.
Yeah, he has.
I'll be waiting at the front.
In the rain.
Mm.
Trying to keep your powder dry.
Keep
Sitting
the
on your
barrel
kegs. Yeah.
Right, well, in our slightly soggy, brand new clothes, we'll head towards the palace.
Yes.
Yeah, you did buy new robes, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Dolled up to the nines.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'll be wearing it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
should have took Druid craft on my thingy so I could have just freshened up my leaves and stuff.
Yeah.
I can cast mending.
Once we are either done or once we're done in the town in the castle square,
Yeah.
is there like a castle garden that's accessible at all?
You are King's Ward and therefore will have more access to the castle now.
Okay, so I would also like to spend some time once we're done meeting with the king, looking around and seeing if I can find a tree inside the castle
Sure. Yeah.
or
Okay.
inside the
God,
castle
yeah.
grounds.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were given badges, if I recall.
Yes.
Think so.
I just have a record of us being made King's Ward.
We were
Yeah.
given some
Anything
kind
else?
of thing.
Like writ.
No, like a badge, I think.
Oh, were we? Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Brooches is what I've written.
Yeah. Brooches indeed, yeah. At least 3 of them. I don't know if Titus got one, but he's permitted to accompany you.
Yeah.
Assistant to the King's Ward.
Yeah. He's our secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Auxiliary, huh?
Oh, our best boy.
Now, as you approach the castle, as you approach the gate that you have been through which you have been entering, are those brooches on display?
Oh yeah, I'm proud of it.
Yeah. So you've
I-
fitted that to your
Oh,
lapel.
Gav's got his under Velcro, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That.
You had it hidden
Yes,
under a
you're
patch,
right.
that was
I
better,
had
yeah.
it hidden
Yeah.
under a
Like
patch,
Will
so
Ferrell
I
in
forgot about
Silent
that.
Bob.
Yeah. So mine's going to be, I'm only going to display it as I approach the gate.
Yeah. But if it's on display, the guards there will clock it, and they will reach through, and they do not ring a bell to have the gate opened, but simply push a lever. They reach through in the same way, but push a point, and the gate is opened, and you are simply allowed to walk in this time. The rules have changed for you.
I swagger in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biggest dick of server.
And you walk down the way. Now, the way down the long outside corridor, lined with caging, is the same. You're entering through a kind of line of concentricity, concentric circles of chamber, and looking out through the what's the fucking word I want to use?
Oh.
Lattice? The metal
Portico?
lattice work? Yeah, why not? The fucking whatever. You're looking out through like a metal mesh almost. Metal grid. Anyway, you can see water moving beneath you, and you realise that you're passing over a moat. Having a moat this high on a cliff must take some work itself. You remember the river that you went as you passed down it. being quite a drop. These cliffs are high, and so to have kept water here, but the water patters and ripples with falling rain here and now. As you dribble downwards, and you come to the antechamber where you have been so far expected to disarm yourselves, and you find this place unattended.
As a sign of respect, I'm going to leave my dagger, which is my only real weapon, here on the desk, unattended anyway.
Just leaving it there on the desk. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
I'll leave my staff, I guess.
It's of no real value to me anyway, so like.
Yeah, same staff. I'll leave the staff there. I'll keep my dart.
I'm taking my
Well,
staff.
lads,
Comes from my homeland.
Can we have a conversation before we go in? Is there anything we need to get out of this? Like Sam, you were saying you wanted stuff to deal. We wanted stuff to deal with undead, or is there any information we need?
More about what they know about the thing. I mean, they told us the general gist of. Well, I don't know. They told us what they know. The dead rise and things are rotting.
Yeah, so definitely magical things for that. That's the kind of show I was alluding to. Weapons, armor, that kind of thing. Things you'd expect the people of the king to have.
Right.
Holy water hand grenades.
Yeah.
Tank.
Yeah. A10 warthog.
Yeah. Got the comment really.
You were expected there about midday, and that is certainly, you are well timed. You push the door on the far side of the antechamber, and Genevieve, in her black and white tunic and outfit, is waiting on the far side, smiling as she meets you.
What up, gangster?
I'm here. Sorry, 1 sec.
Matey was very close to having a swarm of termites manifested.
We'll go back and free those animals if that's what you wish.
I was very close to doing that myself.
Well, if you think they're under any harm or not living their best lives, we should probably take a visit. I'm sure it won't take too much coin to persuade them to just open the cages.
Oh.
And there's no harm in having, more of these friends around.
Yes. Little animals can be very handy. No. Thing. Beast sight and stuff has no range, or does it? Maybe it. Look.
So can you talk to these birds, Tor? Or is it just a kind of a weird understanding?
It's a sort of like a weird understanding. If I prepare the right things, though, I can definitely talk to them, and they can talk back to me. It's
Well, that would be handy.
Beast Sense doesn't have a range per se. It's basically as far as the bird can fly in an hour. So for scouting and things like that, it's great.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like ideal to have
just actual animals that will listen to me. Or at least communicate with me properly.
Genevieve says, well, welcome back to the castle. Welcome to the rest of the castle. Welcome to having the inside view of the place. You're not here simply as guests now. Father Visca will meet you, brief you, deal with the specifics of your assignment in a little while. But is there anything else you need? Do you need access to the armory?
Por favor.
We could take a quick look.
That's what I thought. The quartermaster's chambers is down this way, and she walks in a different direction to what you've been seeing her. But to the way you've been going for some time. You're led past a small patrol of guards walking in formation, just walking around in a file, just for fun.
Miss Genevieve, might I ask you a question? We had a bit of a random encounter with a man named Percy last evening.
Oh.
And I'm sure you know his name. He seemed to think quite a lot of himself and his influence within the city. And we plan to pay him a visit in the future. But should this be a problem, or is this something that we should look into maybe before we leave the city?
We're aware of him and what he's been doing. We are working on it. But, well, there's something to be said for keeping a degree of order in the lower orders. I believe that's the official position here in the castle.
Yes, I kind of had assumed that, and therefore I didn't want to act without checking in as such.
He's not a nice man, and, well...
Well, I can understand nice doesn't really come into it, but keeping law and order does. So if he's a tool, no matter how grubby, we'll leave him alone.
You understand what I'm saying here, then, Mr. Black? Why? What did he want from you? Was he trying to press you for cash?
No, he wanted some magical trinket that we took off one of his urchins back.
Oh, goodness. Oh, very well. Okay.
It will give him an advantage in his labors.
Well, this may be a turnaround for things.
But we do know where to find it, where to find him. So, as I said, we're at your disposal, at the king's disposal.
I am glad to hear it, Mr. Black. As she pushes open a door into what is clearly an armory. It is lined, the floor is covered in sawdust. There is the smell of linseed oil and leather. And rust flecks in the air. The sound of a grindstone. And a caged door. With a man in a military dress uniform. Not dissimilar to what Lieutenant Fielder was wearing. And the other quartermaster whose name I can't remember right now. That you met in Lurston.
Cool.
But he looks over to Genevieve and is happy to see you. Good morning?
Good morning, sir.
Or is it? It's afternoon now, is it not?
afternoon.
We'll need to stop for lunch before too long, but what can I do for you?
Well, we're heading north, and some of my colleagues here require some odds and ends to help us in our adventures. And with that, Miss Genevieve, sorry to interrupt you, sir. I'll also need, I think, to speak to Mr. Saeed or Mr. Orient at some point. He might be able to help us if it's within his remit.
Indeed.
I knew him from my days as a student.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm sure we can arrange that this afternoon after our other meetings. He will likely be in his study.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, I don't need anything here, so I'll leave yous to it.
Righty-ho. What was the bloke's name again, Jed? Was he introduced?
He wasn't introduced, he's just Mr. Quartermaster.
Mr. Quartermaster, sir. What do we call you?
Land jet, innit? John.
And Andrew Quartermasterson.
Andrew
From a long line of quartermasters.
Inventors is the profession, you see.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Quart. We're looking for something light and flexible. One could sneak around in, but also with some protective qualities.
Oh, armor, you mean?
Yes, of course, yes.
No, you should do it like you should do it like the guy from John Wick 2.
Yeah, Peter Serafinowicz.
Looking for something robust, full-bodied,
and for dessert,
stylish. Yeah.
Well, you're wearing studded leather, are you not already, Sam?
Leather, I think.
Just wearing normal leather. Well, yeah, you can offer you studded leather, definitely.
Oh no, I'm wearing studded leather.
Which case, well, if you want the real cream of the crop, looking to protect yourself, you should fit yourself up with one of these, and he'll reach over and get a halfling-sized breastplate.
Oh.
That's medium, isn't it?
It's medium armor, will not affect your ability to sneak, but still balances up against your dex score. So,
well, my dex is +4, so I think you still lose one.
Sick.
Yeah. So let me do the maths on this.
It still might be better than studded leather, which I think is only +2.
14.
Yeah.
Leather.
So you get 1 point extra.
So for a breastplate, you'd be 14, 16 total. With studded leather, you're up.
Well, studded leather's AC 12, breastplate is AC 14. So surely it'd be more, right?
No, because you lose some of your dex.
So he can only get without the medium armor master feat. He can only get a 2 dex benefit from breastplate.
Okay.
The best you can do with the breastplate is 16 without a special feat, whereas Sam's AC is high enough that he actually gets more. Yeah.
I sort of put under the impression that there was possibly magically enchanted sorts of leathers and things around.
Oh goodness me, sir! This is a palace armory, not an enchanter's forge or anything like that.
Oh, that's quite all right. I'm sorry, I must have misunderstood.
What have you got in the back? Under the table, you know.
That's true. You could make it worth your while.
I'll show him the brooch. We are Kingsward.
But sure, yeah. Lots of folks have got them around here.
Well, I suppose so.
And indeed, as I say, the palace armory is at your disposal. For yourself, sir, and he looks down at your hands. Well, something to protect them a little.
I do like punching people. Rather good at it.
He comes up with a set of leather wraps.
Ooh.
Now, those look like you could deflect some decent blows with them.
Huh.
Protection.
Cool.
They are the tool of my trade.
Is it a process of protection?
It's I mean, I planned on just flavouring it like it would work. You could use it like a shield, but
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Putting words in your mouth.
braces of defence. You're thinking, huh?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Braces of defence. Are there braces of protection as well?
I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
I might be getting confused with room protection.
I think there is.
Braces of
There are things like.
defense.
Now the
There
thing
are
is,
braces of protection.
Braces of defense are +2 to AC. Braces of protection, I imagine.
That's one.
It's probably just the same name for the same thing because
Yeah.
typically in the past they used to go from +1 to +5, and you could have braces of protection for any
I'm
of the
googling
categories.
braces of protection 5e, and I'm getting braces of defense in a bunch of different sources. Now the thing is, yeah, I mean, I'd planned on flavouring these as hand wraps that would function effectively as a shield, which would also be a +2 AC.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Groovy.
without taking up your hand.
Cool.
If you want to call them a magical item, then that's fine.
You
If you
get-
want to call them toughened leather gloves,
You
then
get
that's
braces
also-
of defense, which is just 2+ AC as well.
That's
Yes,
what you said.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm not going to take up your attunement for that, but what I might do, I'm trying to think of some kind of penalty here.
Just make it +1.
Yeah, let's make it a +1 AC with these. They're not going to take up your attunement. And they're not going to affect your dexterity at all. They're just a heavy leather glove.
I'll just copy them and then change the value, I think.
Yeah, that would do it. Or, yeah. Without, again, just homebrewing an item.
Yeah, that's more of a bullock. Well,
Yeah.
these will do nicely.
Thank you for farting, Cat.
They fit you okay?
I'll put one and flex my knuckles and throw a flurry of fists at my shadow.
It's not quite like O.J. Simpson in the if it does not fit, must have quit kind of scene.
Yeah, they're nice stretchy leather.
Yeah. Calf skin on them.
Ooh,
Goat on the palm.
spicy.
Make sure you keep them oiled, mind.
Oh yeah, of course. Don't want it to crack.
Anything else for you, gentlemen?
I don't think so.
Don't know, mate. Not really. You ain't got a staff of insects, have you?
No, I don't keep such things.
Yeah, I wouldn't think
Here
so.
in the Palace Armory, as it were.
Oh, not in the Palace Armory, so you could have one somewhere else then, could you?
Well, there are, as your friend remarked, there are mages here at work in the palace, but and he gestures towards Obadiah as he says this.
We'll speak to Mr. Orient.
Yeah, I'm not really
meetings.
one fighting with me hand, So
No,
no,
just
it's
your
not.
claws.
I never need to use my claws. I use the teeth that come out when I turn
Just
into the
uses
beast
the
teeth
claws to rip apart fish.
and throats.
To the mages then. Thank you for your time, Mr. Court.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. You have done me a great service.
Genevieve's waiting at the back of the room. She says, we ought to go to Father Viscus
After
for
you.
your assignment.
Certainly.
And she'll lead you around. Now, before you went to his chamber through the throne room, this time you're being led around the ring-like structure. Vic, you do pass something of amongst other things, you do gain glimpses out the windows of garden grounds, of what might even be a grove of trees out through there. If you get any free time later, this is certainly an area that you'd be able to go to, but you're being led to an appointment now, so perhaps this isn't the time.
Yep. That's all right. Can always
they're
come back
definitely-
here as a bee.
Indeed. But there is, you are led to a door with crimson paint on the outside of it. Genevieve opens it without knocking. And Father Visca, in his purple robes, with his pencil mustache and a square little hat, like a fez, looks
Ooh.
over to you. Ah, gentlemen, it is good to have you back here. I think that was his voice that I was doing before, I can't remember.
Sure.
It is now.
It is good to see you have not simply accepted your, shall we say, privileges. You have not taken your duties lightly. I must, to my shame, admit to once or twice having inducted individuals into the King's Ward only for them to have spent a night and had second thoughts. Found that the
Bastards.
pressure, the weight of responsibility has been too much for them. And well, around here we take personal responsibility rather highly. I've had to reclaim certain brooches with my own hands once or twice. But you yourselves here present yourselves to me. You are, I trust, ready for assignment, for tasking.
Sure.
We are.
Now, we understand that the Becklands have been subject to a crash. The crash of this here, celestial object, this here comet, that you yourselves, gentlemen, witnessed passing over the moor just some days past. It has fallen on the banks of the river, and so we have esteemed that it is by river that you ought to travel. I understand you have a relationship with one such river-going vessel that is under contract from
Yeah.
the Crown.
Hell yeah.
If it would suit you, would you travel by Mr. Dearborn's vessel once again?
Absolutely.
Yes. We have a good enough working relationship with them. It's on a different river, though, I assume.
Indeed, the more northern passage. But he has ways of working against the flow of water that are, well, hard to emulate for the uninitiated. You will find his crew quite able and his ship well stocked.
It's quite the able seaman.
That he is. Him and his crewmate. But let us not fall into such conversations. Gentlemen, I understand you must be eager not to tarry here in the city any longer. You have been up to some business. So perhaps it is, well, what further information I may give you, I am here at your disposal. Now, for further support, and Mr. Black, you did remark, I have made some assertions as to your background here in the city, your upbringing, your education. I wonder if you know from your time in the Hall of the Body Physic about restoration of life and the cessation of decay. For that is what you faced in Shy Meat some days past. The animation of that which was itself decayed. Am I correct?
I've learnt to what I can about the material realm of this knowledge. I believe there are priests who know other magics, but I can mend a wound or fix a broken leg or ascertain a fever and cure it, should this come to it. But what we faced in Shymeat was no malignment of the physical realm. It was something other, something none of us are experienced with.
This shambling, it is a matter of quite some grave possession, if you will pardon my punning.
Yes, I agree. And we have some ability between us, whether it be the magics I know, or Tor knows, or Titus's great weapon. We have means to put these creatures down, but
Yeah.
of this we are not entirely certain.
We have found the following to be quite effective, and he points over towards a case. Lifting the lid, it contains some vials of a clear liquid. They are, rather than vials, kind of ampules, round little bottles with stopper corks. They would
And
be well sized for throwing for those of you who are adept at such things.
are these potions?
They are, to the uninitiated, simple water, captured from the very gutters of this castle this morning in the rainstorm we have been blessed with. But they are treated to certain rituals, certain incantations, and to our understanding, the sheer will of life that we have learned to appreciate, to savour here in the new faith of Lurich, is antithetic to the necrotic malignment that animates the dead at times. Indeed, it shall radiate harm and disabling to any such creature that it should strike. You may even, in a pinch, drink it. It will be quite safe for you and for any of us here talking in this room.
Well, it is good then that I have some experience with this, having had my studies in the Temple of the High Physic. And we appreciate the gesture of these things. There is something I would like to ask, Father. The language used in the missive, as we brought to the king, we were permitted to read it by the commander in the field. I noticed that there was quite a few words that were, I believe, some sort of cryptogram. It is our understanding that the crown has a certain language that is used and that we are not privy to. And going into the field now with, well, I would assume no support, it would be nice to get a little bit more intelligence on the subject.
You mean the old tongue?
I'm not sure that's exactly what it was, but yes, I had surmised maybe that was it.
In the letter, the reference to Cathral classification, perhaps.
Yes, that's it.
Come across. Indeed, this is. You have known some elves, and you have met, from what I surmise of your travels, a number of the more venerable clerics in the new faith.
Yes, we have. And I speak Elvish as well.
And indeed, the new faith is aptly named. It is perhaps 600 years old, several lifetimes for those of us red-blooded, rounded ear types. But for the longer lived of this plane, of this fine nation, they still linger a few memories of a time when words dealt true weight and earth and air and flame all mixed together. When beings from beyond what we can see and touch reached out and meddled in the affairs of lives. Not always for the bad, not always for the good, but it denied us a degree of control. We still keep the old tongue for those places that live on in legacy, those forces that we would really rather bloody forget about, that we, in our hubris, you might say, had thought we could push out of the world.
Yes, that's unfortunately evident at the moment. I agree. Is there some primer that I would be permitted to catch up on, or is that for a more initiated sort?
I will provide you a treatise on the subject, being as that you speak Elvish as it is. I doubt you will find it terribly difficult. Etymologically, they share a number of roots. The contemporary High Elvish being, well, shall we say influential.
And then regarding our mission specifically, is do we have? Sorry, does the king have people in the field already? Is there people we can meet in the north near this Becklands place?
There are a few agents around the place, but they are scattered. You must consider that the war to the north has taken a great toll both on the King's Ward as a organised force and indeed on those of us who would police it.
Oh, understandable. Well, gentlemen, do we have any further questions for Father Visick? Vicus?
Visca.
Visca.
He'll turn around and he'll go and grab a couple of tomes for you, Gav.
Cool.
And he'll come back to you, one of which is a treatise, a primer on deciphering and learning the old tongue of Lurich. The book itself, you can feel, is quite old. It is a little fragile, but doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart in your bag. The other is a religious text. And he puts his hand on top of this and says, should you find yourself expending all your uses of this here blessed liquid, this holy water, read the psalm in chapter 5 aloud across any such volume of fluid, and you may reproduce it. But you may find some other value elsewhere in this text. It is a favourite of mine, formative in my early years of the cloth. When I myself was attendant to the many graves here in this city, attendant to, well, funereal rites and the like.
Yes,
Savouring, yeah.
would seem kind of apt, appropriate from what we've learned from Movis and his worshipping.
Mm. Gentlemen, New King's Ward, I need not remind you of your own duties here in the nation. You are sworn to uphold and enforce justice and righteousness in the name of the king as you travel. Indeed, you have a specific tasking, but as you cross the moors and the hills and the forests of Lurich, do not waver in meting out justice. You will find, when we have it to give, the full weight of our forces, the full weight of the royal hand behind you. You will find support anywhere the new faith plants its feet.
Well, Father Visca, there was an incident that happened tonight that I brought up with Genevieve earlier, Ms. Genevieve. It was to do with an incident we ran into last night in town, and that we would like to resolve before leaving town. We could do this later today if it was the Crown's wishes, but a man called Mr. Percy or maybe simply Percy, came to visit us at our hotel we were staying in, the Swan. And he, well, we didn't want to cause a scene, so we acquiesced and we gave him what he wanted. But we don't. The device we gave him back, which we assume was stolen, gives him some sort of command over time in a small parochial way. We feel it's not quite right that he should remain with this device in the city.
We want to get
course,
off him.
Yes, we do. Exactly, Jethro. But we don't want to leave. Well, Miss Genevieve said that there's there's some benefit to having a known actor in the East End. Well, I'm not so sure I agree with that. The law should come from the king and not any other font. We'd like permission to take this item back, to use it for the good of Hyluri, the good of the people of this nation. Which would involve a little upset in the East End this evening before we depart. Would that be acceptable, or are we overstating our bounds?
Visca, for the first time since you've been in the room, sits. He has a well-padded armchair. And he looks up at you now from his seat and says, I'm familiar with this man. He's concerned with matters unholy.
Oh, we specialise in that.
I mean not heretical, I mean not...
But he's not a law-abiding.
This is precisely what I mean. His interests are not my interests. His manner of enforcing order does not benefit the church in any way, so far as I'm concerned. I'm aware that Miss Genevieve and many others in the court see him as a political necessity, but, gentlemen, if you are looking for my blessing, you have it fully.
Oh, let's fucking go.
Well, sir, that is very good to hear, because when we swore our allegiance yesterday to His Highness, it wasn't a thing we did lightly. And I hope you know that. We intend to keep this great honor, and we will do what we can to make his kingdom a better place. Be it the bandits in the south, as I discussed, or be it the denizens of the east end of Hyluri, or the war in the north. We will do this all, never mind the hell dropping from our skies.
Visca smiles and says, I knew you fellas would come in handy. I knew you fellas meant what you said. And I knew I'd be glad I brought you into the fold.
Well, as long as we have the backing to stay in the fold when times get tough, we will be here for the long run.
What to put that sod down?
Exactly. Well, gentlemen, is there anything else we need from His Holiness? No, that's probably not the right term. It's probably a bit too grandiose. From Father Viscus.
No.
I would agree. Well, Father Visca, we will take our leave. If we have your permission, we might cause a bit of a stir in East End this evening, and we will be away tomorrow, provided we can contact Dearborn and have such transports arranged.
Dearborn, I believe, is staying in gulches. It overlooks the sea. Fine place. I'm sure maybe a little rough underfoot for the likes of yourselves.
I have surprisingly good footing.
I'm glad to hear it.
We'll be going there this evening to make contact.
Indeed. Enjoy the rest of your time among the palace staff. And,
Yes, well, thank you. We're off to see Mr. Orient, Saeed. I studied with him in the past. It's been many a year, so we'll have a chat to him, see what aid he can give us on our endeavour, and we'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Very well. Now, Gav, what you have here, among a book, basically that I will, your book of translation and primer and learning Old Tongue. I'm not going to make you roll to learn that, but again, we'll give it a bit of time, and eventually we can suss that out, and we can go from how do I translate that to just knowing the language, and I'll just give you what it says. What you also have is a holy book in this text, in of the new faith. It is a book mostly of incantations, rituals, prayers, and the like. Now, if you so wanted, to speak out of character terms, you could very easily multi-class to a grave cleric.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you were going with when you handed me that. So yeah, I am.
But if you equally want that, you've got the means to produce new holy water for no such commitment there. You have between you 12 ampules of holy water. They will take they will count as, you can use them as melee or as ranged weapons, and let's say they will do a d12 of radiant damage to any undead they strike.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, marked.
Yeah.
I wrote IPP in the chat and it censored the word PP. So sorry.
Nice.
Fucking hell. Yeah, that works for me. I don't think I will be doing cleric levels.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
But I might take one at some point. Who knows? But it won't be. It won't be soon. It'll be like way later.
Yeah. Only when and if you want to, but yeah, you've got a narrative means to do that.
So it's like, yeah, I think we're good here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go and see Said, and then I think it's a little after 10. We'll go and see Said, and then we'll call it for the night.
What? Said. Where's Said?
Yeah, absolutely. Genevieve leads you. Then she asks where you want to go, or does anybody want to do anything else while you're in the castle?
Good.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Vic,
Other than my tree,
or
Yeah.
do you want to go and sit in the garden?
I also want to speak to Matey though, because there's a couple of questions that I want to ask him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Fair enough. We have no problem getting access to the garden if we can get access to the fucking, head fucking priest.
And she frames
sorry,
it.
I gotta take a leak, but continue on. I'll pick it up.
Genevieve frames it in a way of, is there anywhere else that I can show you? Is there anywhere else I can lead you? Otherwise, she can give you directions or just fucking let you fuck off around the place. You've got anyone with a brooch is allowed to.
Oh, I'd like to have a look around. Don't know where.
Just go for a walk, see if you can get into trouble.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wander off and find a tree, or get her to show me where a tree is.
Stroll through the gardens, find a tree for Vic. Yeah, let's do that.
Nice big tree. And then I'm going to walk around it 4 times, take a piss on it, and whisper to it softly.
Oh boy.
And then pat it 4 times and go and look for the... I'm insane.
I know what you're doing.
Oh. I'm gonna go and make sweet, sweet love to this tree.
You could find some lovely beech trees planted in a kind of arboretum vibe. It's very nice.
Oh, they will be cheese. Hey.
So you got your tree.
Yep, yeah, you've got the tree, found it. Take a note of it, and I'll remember this bad boy.
Okay, weirdo. Let's go find this other guy.
All right.
Yeah, and Genevieve is happy to lead you up a particular tower. So yeah, he's up at the top there. I've got jobs to do, so I'm going to leave you to it.
Very well.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be off.
I should put you up the tower.
Wander up, take a knock on the door.
Yeah. And you hear a quick, come in.
I'll go open the door and go in.
The tower opens. Said has not come to the door. He has not moved away from his own telescope that he's looking out the window.
Ah, Said. Now
Out
that
over
astronomer.
the water. It's daytime, but he's looking out over the water, counting
Okay.
something. And from the angle that he'd have it, he's possibly looking down at ships, something like that, or possibly looking at patterns in the water, in the
Well,
the
expecting
swirling.
visitors.
Obadiah, thinking too much again about practicalities when you should be looking for patterns in the abstract. My goodness, man. You
Well,
never could get past human affairs, could you?
No, and they've come to haunt me. And hence I'm here, and we're sworn to the King's Ward, and I have with me my grand fellows here, and we're set to wade out to the whatever is happening in the north.
Goodness me, man. Goodness me. Yeah, you'll need to get away from that stuff. I mean, the auspices that we've been picking up here. You know that comet's passed overhead. You know, it's come from another plane, man.
Yes.
Called down by some horrible force, you know?
Well, not horrible force. If I was to say, and I don't use this term lightly, but I would say a god.
At that, he pulls his eye away from the eyepiece and looks out over to you and says, I'll say you don't use that term lightly.
Well, you know me. I'm not so much for believing in those such of things, but what I've seen happen to my ex-pupil can only really be explained in those terms. I'm sure you've heard the story by now.
I've been briefed. Some pastoral family out in the provinces.
Lord Goss, his daughter. I was her tutor for a few years, 4 or 5. But this thing, this creature is I don't know what the term is, fixated upon her. There was a bit of a mess in Shymeet, and we freed her from her captors, but she fled north. And we're now going there to find her. And we're going to need some help.
Well,
but it has been a while, so let me introduce you to everyone. This here is Jethro. He is a monk of the, Obadiah will know this, but Gav's forgotten, of the whatever order.
No order, just me.
All right. I will say he trained under, and I have the name written down.
Jack Ki-chan.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it was something like that. And then this is Torek from the southern peninsula, where he's a druid of the jungles down there, and Titus from Shenchu overseas to the east.
Close enough.
That'll have to do.
Well met, sir.
And well, it seems we're going north to banish this creature from our realm and, well, do what we can against it. Do you have seemed to landed on your feet?
Well,
place.
There are always boxes to be ticked here in the palace. I mean, they always like to have a different looking face around here, and I've got a lovely smile, as I'm sure you remember.
Well, they had its way with the ladies.
Well, they give me room to study, they give me all the glass that I can ask for, and keep me well stocked in inks, so long as I tell them what I'm writing down every so often. Indeed, it suits me quite well, I have to say. We've been able to learn a few things.
You do more than that with that glass than just look out at the horizon. I assume you look up as well.
Patterns are everywhere. It's all a matter of focusing the eyes in the right place.
So, did you notice in either the historic writings or the skies above us mentions of this green star, this green comet?
There was a particular a bit of an inconsistency in some of the forecasts, the texts, the records. You'll remember this from Lear talking about patterns in nature and the cyclic nature of things. The stars go around, come around, go around, come around, and about a week ago, they just didn't match up with where they should have been. They were all a little bit out. And, well, I suppose it makes sense now, but I remember thinking even at the time, it was like everything had been nudged. And every time I've looked at them since, well...
Back to normal?
Seem to be back to normal now, but...
What the fuck?
You imagine you've got your plate of rice, and everything's lining up lovely, and you take a pea and drop it there in the middle. It's just enough to shift things. It's just enough to knock things out of kilter, out of alignment. And pluck the pea out, things will settle back into place. Sort of.
That was the strangest analogy I've ever heard.
Well,
but I think I understand your... I think I understand your meaning when you come to maybe obsession with patterns, because it is just the pattern that we fail to recognize that has cast us into this situation, this scenario.
What, where were you looking? You haven't been looking at the stars so much yourself, have you?
No, I haven't. That's why I asked if you had. Have you?
Well, a little, as I say.
So we ran across this elderly elven gentleman way out to the west, a man named Movis, an artificer or ex-artificer who had an interest in the skies, and in fact he had a very keen interest in a particular area where this supposed green comet came from.
I've heard of him.
Well, he's no more, but what was going on underneath his house in a dug-out basement was horrific. What's the word? Evil.
Oh dear. Okay.
I don't know if it was his way, what he was doing, but he basically, I think, brought this upon the kingdom.
Oh dear. You think he was calling it?
Or arranging whatever arcane ritual elements that needed to happen for it to be called. You understand?
Laying conditions. The turning over of Earth to be ready for a seed, perhaps.
Exactly. Prophecy and all that bullshit. I know Lear loved it, but I wasn't one for it.
No. Have you caught up with Leah since you've been in town?
Just dropped in to exchange a spell or two.
Oh, goodness, yeah. I wonder how he is.
Oh, same as ever.
That doesn't surprise me.
What's his spell's name? I
This
forgot.
fella?
Side Orient.
Yes. Local caricature.
Yeah.
Sounds it.
Well, look, we're going out into the unknown. We're not northerners. We're going to need some help. And we're going to need some clout once we get there. Father Visca has given us some holy vials that we're pretty sure will be able to help with the hellhounds and other creatures of this plane. But we're going to need a little more. Now, I could do with the exchange of a few spells, but I'm sure my friends here could do with a little bit more. If you have it in your power as your the vizier of the court, maybe you'd be able to pull some strings.
Vizier is maybe something, but I have a few ears. I have a few fingers I can point. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Hello.
Anything to help us fight these creatures would be excellent.
Well,
Protection against whatever they're bringing on.
if it's Cuthraul you're dealing with, if it's devils. Are you familiar with the principles of homeopathy? Of
Can't say I am.
fighting like with like. Now you see, the best way we have found, for example, is to treat a disease with a little disease, is to dilute water with water, is to burn away a little fire. Now we have found with these Cuthraul, with these devils, they can be very difficult to put down, very difficult to kill. But if you can have a piece of them, a drop of blood, a strand of hair,
An arcane element? Like a toot?
a tooth would be brilliant. Yes, indeed. That can be integrated into a weapon, and then that weapon becomes particularly effective.
It's an unusual tactic.
It's not without its risks. A certain degree of counting coup is required. One must win one fight, but go away with a trophy, so to speak, in order to win the other. But yes, indeed, if one were to,
So maybe we sniff around the outskirts of their camp, so to speak, to find such trophies and then engage
this is a way of
more
doing
direct.
it. I'm sure. Well, the strategies and means of acquisition you'll have to hammer out yourselves, but indeed I haven't found out and settled all the finer points per se, but I'm sure if you bring me parts of a devil, you can be confident that I can wield you some
Ooh,
fine weapons against them.
hold up. Wait a minute.
Well, it just so happens.
I don't
Leave
have
them in-
teeth. Oh, did I sell? I think I'd sold the teeth.
I
Or
think
No,
gave
you
them
so.
away.
gave somebody a gift.
I gave them back to the guy because his dog turned into a fucking hellhound. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You traded them
Oh.
for what did you trade them to him for? I can't remember. Oh, it was
Magic
the,
He
beans.
gave
The
me
light
he gave
stone.
me the
it
little
was the light,
stone that lights up.
the light up stone. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well worth it. Yeah, guys.
I use
I'll
it to
tell you.
find the toilet paper in the dark.
We'll keep that in mind, Said.
Yeah.
Tell me, your dealings with the court. Do you have much? I don't want to say influence, knowledge of the workings of Iluri? Because we've ran into one unpleasant gentleman that we would like to and have permission to act upon.
Oh, Obadiah, my good man, do you think this ivory tower here is just a metaphor?
Well, it's taller than my home.
I do as much as I can to stay off street level as possible. I am here to look at the river and the stars, not the
I figured as
squirming on
much.
the street.
Well, it's a squirming on the street that we're distressed by. But no problem. We'll deal with that ourselves.
If you should happen to bump into some of that shit, please wipe your feet before you come back up here.
Oh, I'll buy new boots.
But you mentioned an exchange of spells. Is there anything in particular you're looking for? Let's peruse. Let's trade war stories.
Well, I'm embarrassed to say, but there is a cantrip I do need. I think Mage Hand. But there's other things as well we can discuss.
Oh, well, that's a simple enough trick. It takes a little practice. You can imagine having a third appendage, but
Oh, I've got one. But we can deal with this through our letters, maybe.
A fair shout, a fair idea. I'm sure you fellas are busy here, having the run of the castle and the city like this. It must be very exciting for you all, having come from all the way down there and the south and Shu and the like.
It's a bit
Well, we did
much.
have obligations there as well as here. They just seem to weigh a little heavier here.
Mm.
Well, gentlemen, if you don't mind, I believe the tide is turning.
1 second, Vete. I got a question. A second. Don't know
Of course.
anywhere I can get some spell wrought tattoos. Do you?
Tattoos. Oh goodness.
Yeah, some spell wrought ones. You know, magical tattoos.
Well, there's plenty of folks that can apply a tattoo. Any Dockland city
Yeah,
or
but no,
prison?
that's not the right sort of tattoo, is it? You know, it's not a fucking sailor's tattoo.
You
No,
need the proper inks.
I'm familiar with such things, but as my friend here says, you would need the proper inks. And
That's why I'm asking you. You're the king's bloody wizard. If anyone should know anything about it, you should be knowing something about it, surely.
He's a
Christ.
cantankerous bastard, isn't he?
Well, actually, do you know a place in the city where we can pick up such things, like magical inks and whatnot?
Yes.
A reputable place.
Yes.
Don't want anything like too difficult done. Just a couple of like lower ones. So I've got things handy when we need them.
Yes, there's the.
Never know when you need an extra cantrip or an extra spell.
The back room at the Skull and Candle, I'm told, does a similar kind of trade. And good luck fortunes to sailors and the like, but the artist really knows what she's doing. She's a similar alumnus of Lear's.
Right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's down on All Fathers Street.
I remember it. Yeah, we'll check it out. I think
What's
that's
her
where I got
name?
my unicorn gun done.
What's her name? That girl.
Aliyah Primrose. Maybe that's what you
Yeah.
called her.
And he rubs his chin. He says, yeah. She knows what she's doing. Might be worth a visit.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Fine.
Right. Well, thank you for your time, Saeed. I'll catch up when we're back.
Indeed. Safe travels, I think is what we would say here.
Until we see you again.
And he goes back to his telescope, looking down upon the swirling, pattering waters of the River Beck and the River Lurry as they merge into the sea. And the rain pours down around them, patters on the slate roof above you.
When we're like down 2 corridors, ways away, I'll just mutter, "Fucking idiot, spending his life in an ivory tower, he'll never learn nothing."
The fucking Belinda, man.
Well, we got something out of it.
Yeah. Right. And chaps, we're going to leave the session there.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you, Jed. Good to play again after the week's break.
Yeah. Appreciate your patience with me missing last week.
No,
That's
no
all right.
problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't really need to save anything. We haven't changed anything in terms of that, so that's fine. I'm just going to close.
We haven't used the table.
No.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah, nice and good to get to do. Yeah, hardly, rolled a few dice, but not too much.
Assassination next week then.
You
Bit
say
of robbery.
assassination, more of like a massive bar brawl and gunfight.
Yeah, kick the doors in. It's the police.
Kicking the
you
door
guys
within the far
yeah.
far.
Are you feeling a little less railroaded now? I know I kind of guided you through it a fair
No,
bit.
I didn't
I was
feel that railroaded. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if it was, I didn't pick up on it. It was like just as long as we're allowed time to RP, it's good. Yeah.
Well, that's it. For low level adventures, it's best to just say, "Here, look, you're doing this." Yeah, and you're getting to know your characters, you're getting to know what's going on with that. So yeah, I want to open it up a fair bit more now and let you guys work out what you want to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.